We should be live now. I should be able to hear myself. This is like the sound check bit where I say some words and you say if you can hear me. I'm saying hello. Hello. Ah, welcome back, my lord. Good to have. Sounds fine, sounds good. Excellent. That means that I have done some fixing since the last stream. You will notice that chat is back and working. That's been a whole fun thing, because last stream chat didn't work and some of the audio was a bit not correct. I fixed the audio, and as per normal with anything technological, it caused 2 new problems, and I got to find out what those problems were, how to fix them, whatever was going on with the back numbers where the program that is binary spat out a 2 or something, as far as I know, and that's how it happened. Hello. So, that should work. Work, click. Come on. Come on. It should be working. Are you saying the problems of unknown origin behaved like a Hydra? Yes, that is fundamentally how all technological problems work. Possibly it is that the Alpha Legion gets into everyone's computer systems, they make a mess, and then you have to kill them, fix them, rotate them, something like that. No, not Hail Hydra. Hydra bad. Hydra not helping. Hydra doing the thing wrong. Okay, that is now working. Excellent. Don't hail Hydra. That's the wrong franchise anyway. Although we do have a Mr. Rogers who just subscribed, so maybe it is the right franchise. Hello, Lisa. Oh yeah, VTuber Tech Tips. It does indeed. Check out. Excellent. So, my my very incredibly accurate, oh, it's the audio. Right, I figured out that one of the things is having my phone near to anything else that I'm doing is not a good thing. However, I need both to make all of the things working. Has it now stopped? It should have stopped. Good. Okay. Yes, so it's like so much technology happening. The technology is not necessarily compatible with one another. But it's working. People need to stop texting me is what's happening. That's how it is. Yeah, I need a third thing. I know. There needs to be even more tech going on. Ah, no, I still have the dial-up stuff. I still use the dial-up technology sound whenever I'm doing dial-up technology stuff like the Battleforce. If that's having to start up, then yeah, that has the dial-up technology. Ah. Yes, I've also just changed the thumbnail before this stream, so we should... I don't know if I'll do a which one's your favourite afterwards, but yeah, maybe tomorrow I can do a which one's your favourite, because there's the Sigmar lied, and it's me with Skinner pointing at a Sigmari dude who is definitely just... It's Sigmar. It's like, that man is the real Sigmar Heldenhammer. I thought that was a funny joke. Don't know if it works for people clicking on a stream, but it'll work. Or we can just do the we have stuff about Brood Brothers. So the plan today... Yes, whenever I want to do a call, I bring Alexander Graham Bell back from the dead. Well, the plan for today. I'll stop getting distracted. Chatting, hello, this is chatting, hello. Then I'm going to look at the chaos stuff first. That gives people a chance to come in from wherever they are. And then we'll look at the Brood Brothers, which I think is what most people want to talk about. That's mostly what we're going to be talking about. And then there will be some fantasy, some Age of Sigmar stuff more at the end. But that doesn't mean, oh, I'll leave when we get to the Age of Sigmar stuff. It just means if anyone gets to join even later than the Brood Brothers stuff, they can go back and watch the Brood Brothers stuff. Yes. Is the fantasy good? It's pretty good. Am I into the Age of Sigmar? I'm pretty into the Age of Sigmar. We'll call them vampire counts, because that's what I want to call them. They're vampire counts. They even have some ghouls. They even have some ghosts as allies. Yes. So I do play Age of Sigmar, just not 3rd edition Age of Sigmar, although as we're going to see, we're going to get 4th edition Age of Sigmar, and maybe I'll play that. Good evening, Florian. And there's a little bit of Warhammer Fantasy. I've had a look more at Warhammer Fantasy and how much I want to get back into it. And the rules, I remember some of the rules, but my goodness, there's like 20 rules for every unit, and there's no small games of Warhammer Fantasy. It's all 50 models to 70 models is your small things. That's it. That's your smallest version of the army. And then very few people die, and then you fail a morale test, and then everyone dies. So that's weird. It's getting back into that thought of it. It's different. It's different. It's not quite the fantasy I remember, which may be a good thing, because 8th edition fantasy was just awful. Yeah, I know Warhammer Fantasy Battles is not a skirmish game, whereas Age of Sigmar, as we'll see, very much is. Okay, we're good. I did like 6th edition fantasy. Yes. Really enjoyed 1000-point Genestealer Cult list. Good. Good, good. Yes, they still have the Sigmarines that are the Stormcast Eternals. That's what they get called, Sigmarines. They may just be called Stormcast Eternals now. Maybe they've developed their own personality enough, although that personality has been eroding every time they get reforged. Yeah. Okay. You may also notice that above me is a thing called Big Video Motivation. That is because this week, and it looks like next week also, I have been working on a big video. It's at least an hour long. It's probably going to be closer to 2 hours, and it's a lot of Genestealer Cult stuff. So it's not going to be done for Genestealer Cult Week, even though Genestealer Cult Week has been extended already. But it'll be done. It's like the next big video I'm working on. It's also going to be about this time. I'll do an anniversary stream for, hey, I've been on this platform, on the YouTube, for a year now. It seems to have gone pretty well. So that can have its own stream, and maybe I'll talk actually about VTuber stuff and what it's like being a VTuber, and as, of course, the Warhammers will come into it. But yes. So that's kind of plans going on. So the big video motivation is just, here's some money, for the love of goodness, please finish the video, because I'm looking at it and going, oh, it's so long. Oh, is anyone going to be able to handle something this big? And I don't know if people will, but it should do okay. It should. It's just pushing towards it. Yes, right. So that'll do as a preamble. Let's talk about the chaos stuff first. So I should have the chaos stuff ready. There we go. Excellent. Is that always going to minimize if I do it like that? Yep. Okay. So we have the Chaos Space Marines. There's going to be 2 box sets. I don't know if the audio of this is coming through, or if it's way too loud. You'll have to tell me. Yeah, I mean, I'm not super interested in seeing what someone who wears a Space Wolf t-shirt unironically has got to say about it. So we're not just going to be listening to all of the things that they're saying. It's for me to talk about. So we have the new Chaos Lord. It's dude, and from the look of it, he's going to be considered to be armed with accursed weapons and a pistol of some sort. And that'll be all of it. Because the weapon options seem to be, yeah, you've got your Thunder Hammer. So maybe there is a Thunder Hammer option. Maybe there is a, I'm assuming that this, with the spikes on it, is a sort of power weapon. Looks kind of like it. There's no video audio. That's fine. That is okay. I'm happy with that. It just means I don't have to sit there and be like, ah, good. Well, let's listen to a person. No, no, no. They have their own channel, their own Warhammer channel, if we want. Yeah, so it's either a power fist or a plasma pistol, or that's what it looks like. So I was guessing, yes, we'll call it the Hurty Stick. Power fist, thunderhammer, Hurty Stick, optional plasma pistol. That's a chain axe, not a power axe from the look of it. So it may be there's a couple of different options, and then the chain axe would be extra attacks. I'm hoping that there isn't some kind of weird thing where the only thing compatible with the fist is the chain axe, and that's why you get extra attacks. That you can have the Chaos Hurty Stick, or the Thunderhammer, and a Power Fist. Or they may just get called Summer Cursed Weapons. We've been seeing Summer Cursed Weapons is a pretty standard thing across a lot of the Chaos Space Marine line. Chosen have it. Even the Chaos Warriors, not Chaos Warriors, we don't call them Chaos Warriors, the Chaos Legionaries, they have the heavy melee weapon, which is a power fist when it's on the sergeant, or it's the really big chain axe when it's on a regular dude. If I interact with you as well, nope, can't have both. Okay. That's fine. No background music today. We'll just have to cope without background music because it won't let me do the pictures on screen and also the background music and also the chat. And we want to have the chat and the pictures. That's the most important things for the stream. Chain axes are okay? Yes. So it may just be, hey, we've got some accursed weapons. That may be how it is. Of course, what everyone cares about is the Jump Pack Lord. The Jump Pack Lord is the much better piece. It seems to have been, they may have had it in their pocket for a while that they're going to do this, or they plan to do it. So when they discontinued the Jump Pack Lord at the end of last edition, which is when the Chaos Space Marines got their new Codex, which was, oh, right, the Jump Pack Lord is gone. The Raptor Champion with the twin lightning claws is also gone because that was the older, like 3rd, 4th edition metal model. And it was just the more plasticky, I don't know if they ended up being resin, probably plastic. Those raptors, yes. So it can be a plastic dude. He's got smoke coming off his foot for some reason. I think it's meant to be an impact shot into a random helmet, and the helmet is smoking, like the head inside is being cooked. I think that's the idea. They haven't gone too bad on the smoke. Some of the Dark Angels models have too much smoke, and some people are just very much put off by smoke. So for some of them, like the chaplain fellow, he had a optional smoke outfit. So you can have the smoke coming out of his tubes, or you can forget that entirely. You like the current Raptors? That's okay. They have the nice backpack that looks very 30k. Yes, it is better than the flying bases. People who have the flying bases do not like the flying bases. I try and just model it so that they're at most leaning against the flying stand, but still on the base. We don't like flying bases. Is that a general consensus? You'll have to put a 1 in the chat if it's a general consensus that you also don't like the plastic hollow flying bases for infantry models. Oh yeah, many people agree. Okay, 1 person agrees 3 times. Good. Yeah, okay, nobody likes them. There we go, Games Workshop, who is, of course, watching the stream. People don't like the flying bases. So we have the Raptor Lord with a power axe, not a chain axe, and plasma pistol, or the way that I think everyone is going to have them, with the twin lightning claws, because that looks so much cooler. That's a nice head. It's very obviously the Night Lord colors. So then we've got the, yes, we're jumping down, we're taking off, something that looks good. It is very much kitty claws. Kitty! Scratch, scratch, kitty. So it'll be like that. He does look a bit like he's singing, but if he's singing, then it means he's suitable for the Emperor's Children players. Yeah. What would be a good flying blaze substitution for the gargoyles? Probably just having them go through ruins. Something like that. Something like that would work. Yeah, you can scratch walls of the fortress, you can climb with them. It at least has 5 fingers, even though the thumbs are kind of stubby. It looks nice. It's different to the lightning claws. Still no Emperor's Children. It looks like no Emperor's Children for the Codex that's coming out, and no Emperor's Children come summer, as the rumours were either it's going to be Imperial Agents as a book, or it's going to be Emperor's Children. People really wanted it to be Emperor's Children, and it's looking more and more like it's going to be the Imperial Agents of some sort. And there have been so many rumours in addition to that, which sometimes seem to be just people seeing a post on Reddit and thinking that's a true thing. Like, there's an idea that, oh, the Death Watch will be in this Imperial Agent book because they're not going to be Space Marines anymore. And I'm thinking that that isn't going to work because they rely so much on the regular Space Marine range. They're going to end up just as a Codex supplement for the Space Marines. That'll work. Maybe the Grey Knights could become part of the Agents, but I doubt it. And people are saying, oh, how do you get like 3 or 4 detachments for the Death Watch? That's impossible. And then we look at, there's going to be a Custodes Codex. How do you get a number of different detachments out of the Custodes? And you absolutely can. There'll be a bunch of them. Right, I don't think there was anything mentioned extra about them. Yeah, this is sort of a remake of one of the Games Day models they had, where he had a plasma pistol and a power axe, but he was holding the power axe up. And he was standing on a rock. So, tactical rock, again. Yeah. And then we have tactical smoke, which is a bit better at least. And it's a lot more like the metal raptors that I have, where they're coming off some like flamey smoke stuff. Yes. So then we have the Codex mentioned. Ah, yes. So there are indeed 8 detachments. Didn't spam enough that there's 8 detachments. Oh, I love the metal raptors. Yes, yes. So 8 detachments for the 6 legions, one of which will be Emperor's Children themed. So we're going to have, let's see if I can name them all. Alpha Legion, Night Lords, Emperor's Children, Iron Hand, no, Iron Warriors, Word Bearers, Sons of Horus that got renamed because they're not Sons of Horus anymore. They're not the Lunar Wolves anymore. They are the Black Legion. That's 7. And I'm missing one. It's not the Fluffy Bunnies Legion. This is where I upset people because I can't remember that other one. No, not the Sons of Gilliman. They're totally loyalists. That's it. Yes, of course. The Dark Angels. No one wanted to make that joke. It was right there for you to make. Right there. Oh, dear. Yeah. So, one detachment for each of the different legions that are not the Thousand Sons, the Death Guard, and the World Eaters. And then 2 more different detachments, one of which is pirate-themed like Vashtor, which is what they've said. That's the example they've given. So I think that's going to make all of the fans of the Red Corsairs a bit annoyed, because in, I think it was like 5th or 6th edition, they were front and center. They were the whole thing about this is what Chaos Space Marines are now. They're renegades. There's recent renegades. Look at them. Look at Huron Blackheart. Oh, he's going to do something. Oh, he will. He's been given a Blackstone Fortress, and then nothing really came of that. He's just around. So the Red Corsairs will probably also fit into this Vashtor the Arcaphane thing of there being a piratical raiders where you'll be able to like fall back and shoot or advance and charge. Things like that. That's how they've been in the past. Advance and charge was their standard rule. So yeah, the Tau will feel sad that they only got 4 detachments. And now that we're not just relying on leaks, some people who've been given advanced copies of the book have been permitted by Games Workshop to release their videos on it. And say, yeah, we gave you this thing. Tell us what you think of it publicly to build hype for it. Well, they were a week late on that. But it does seem that there are only 4 detachments for the Tau. Yes. So it does seem like a lot of detachments, but it's quite similar to the Space Marines plus all of the add-ons that the Space Marines have, because the Space Wolves get their own thing, the Black Templars get their own thing, the Dark Angels get their own thing, the Death Watch get their own thing, the Blood Angels get their own thing, and there's probably more. Huron will be back for the story in about 2 years? Don't know. Don't know. Not quite full Chaos Worshippers, but not Imperial Agents either. Yeah, I mean, they're kind of renegades, but very much leaning towards the Chaos stuff. Considering Huron Blackheart has a Chaos Familiar following around, I think he's gone to the Chaos side quite strongly. But Huron may be gone as a model, and Vashtor the Archifane will come in. So we'll have the 6 legions, this Corsairs, Pirate Raiders detachment, and then I'm thinking something focused a lot on cultists. Because like we had the Kroot detachment, like we've had not many others that have been focused on like a subgroup, but cultists can be their own thing. They already have the cult commune as the way to lead an entirely cult army. And when we have the accursed cultist, we have the regular cultists, and then we have the traitor Imperial Guard. So that may be an entirely cultist detachment, and there'll be bonuses for cultists, like bonus rolls on their what kind of thing do you want today? Lethal hits or sustained hits, something like that. That could be good. That could be good. I think people can get behind that. The word bearers should be the cultist army. They maybe will just go more, let's get focused on possessed. Let's get focused on chosen. And that's how the word bearers will end up. So the Iron Warriors will be, let's focus on vehicles. The Emperor's Children will be, hey, we do have these Emperor's Children models, so maybe we want to just have lethal hits all the time. Or no, it'll be sustained hits because you want lots of shots. So it'll be, they get sustained hits 1, but when they do the prayer to Slaanesh, then they become sustained hits 2. Something like that. Yeah, I mean, the Dark Apostle, that could end up just being a very big part of the word bearers. Iron Warriors without obliterators? Don't know. I mean, they do have all of the possessed stuff, so you have the Master of Possession. Don't know where they're going to end up, or if it'll just be go wherever. Go wherever. I don't think they're going to suddenly bring back new models or say, hey, let's add this in. I think it's basically, here's your 2 new models. I hope you like them. Then the Night Lords can be all about the Raptors and the Jump Infantry. Because there's 2 kinds of Jump Infantry. There's the ones with lightning claws that look a lot like this guy and are kind of demon related. Or you can have the more actual Raptors. Yeah, and we'll get a detachment that's focused more on them. A bit like the Blood Angels are that kind of focused around the jump pack people. Hello, ZB. Nice to have you. You can be trusted with 240-inch range. That is where you say, I'm playing in a tournament, I would like to shoot at a different table. How many people are going to be buying the 2 Chaos boxes just to get the new Lords early? Don't know if it's that many people. But it is interesting that they're doing 2 sets. One of them is 10 Terminators, which is quite nice. 5 chosen. Make this bigger so I can see. That didn't make it bigger. Here we are. Right. Yes. It's got 10 chosen. No, 5 chosen. 10 legionaries, 10 Terminators, 5 possessed, 5 chosen, and the regular Lord on foot. So that's very much your heavy infantry kind of set. And they've said, hey, if you want to buy this Battleforce, and we're calling it a Battleforce again because people love the name Battleforce, if you want to buy that and the other Battleforce, there are no duplicate models. It's like, okay. That sounds maybe like you're planning this as a marketing thing, but of course they are. So you can maybe pick, I mean, it's going to be many points. Many points. If you don't need either box, don't get either box. It's not necessary at all. No. But if you are enjoying the idea of the box, you could also put a like on the stream. that's an option. Little like button down there. So we have the big one, and then we have the more little hoardy dudes. We have the cultists. We have the cult commune. Quite nice. We have the accursed cultists. So if you couldn't get these and you really wanted them when they came out last edition, and also when they came out in the kill team set with the Inquisition kill team, quite a lot of people wanted it then, and it was just so much sold out. Couldn't get it at all. Very annoying. But this is your, hey, we have the cultist group and we also have all of the raptors and things. So 10 raptors and a demon prince and then a bunch of cultists. And that jump pack, jump lord. Yeah, the jump lord. We'll call him that. There may be a FOMO thing like, oh, if you don't get it now, but it's also meant to be a money-saving thing. Like, if you wanted to start it, yeah, it's money-saving. So it's if you want a whole Chaos army, you can do it entirely in one go with the 2 battle forces. But if you do that, that's a lot of money to be spending at once. And then you're going to have boxes, piles of boxes. And it's going to be all, oh, when do I get around to painting this? And sure, you'll have, I don't know, 1,500 points at least between the 2 boxes. Probably 2,000 points. I would think it'd get closer to 2,000 points there. Yeah, so there's no duplicates between Battleforce 1 and Battleforce 2. So on screen now is Battleforce 2. I'm curious which one you think is the better deal for Chaos Space Marine people. So Type 1 for Battleforce 1, and Type 2 for this one with the cultists and the raptors, Battleforce 2. And we'll see which one people think is better. The one with all the Terminators, or the one with all the cultists. I mean, I'm a cultist enjoyer myself, as we know, because I do indeed play Genestealer Cult, and also, I do have a lot of cultist models. Termies are strong? And also, Chaos Chosen. 5 Chaos Chosen is okay. And I'm sure that you could convert 5 of the Legionaries to be also chosen. Yeah. I'm a fan of word bearers, but come on, that's too many cultists. Whereas if you go for the first one, that's a good one for word bearers as well, because it has the possessed in it. And I'm sure you could convert at least one model to be a scary chanty man. The chanty man who does the chanty stuff. Either the spell version with the chanty man or the, yes, I lead dark stuff. What's he called? The chaplain, the bad chaplain. The naughty chaplain is for some reason the only way I can describe it right now. Yes, there's been another phrase that's just been lodged in my head for like the last week, and that phrase is Tumblr sexy man Horus Lupercal. It was trying to explain Horus Lupercal to someone who's like, oh yeah, I looked up pictures of him. He looks kind of hot. He kills people. I like that. And now Tumblr sexy man Horus Lupercal is just in my head. And now it's in your heads as well. I'm not sorry. Oh yeah, 23 cultists, quite a lot of cultists. Dark Apostle, thank you, that's the one. Yeah, if you're going to start another army, maybe think about how addictive Warhammer is. Okay, that's all we've got, or all I'm going to show for the Chaos stuff. So that's not a bad reveal. That's probably going to be all that they get for their Codex. You're getting 8 detachments as well. That is hardly a bad run. So as a Codex, I think they'll be alright. Yes. I am now about to start gushing over the Brood Brothers stuff. That's going to be next. Hope you get the Apostle to lead the Possessed. I mean, that would be sensible. Oh no, Conrad Kurz is Tumblr sexy man. Yeah. I am occasionally looking at the YouTube chat. It is there. I'm just saying all of the words that are in my head. And also a few things that I wrote down as notes. Games Workshop, oh, they absolutely forgot about the Crimson Slaughter. They are so far behind. They were like, yep, we introduced them in 6th edition, and then have decided, the legions are more popular. Yes, you started Genestealer Cult because of this channel. Well, thank you, I think. Or I'm sorry, I think. Yes. Oh, no. Are they really Brood Brothers, the heads of neophytes? I mean... yeah, I think they're going to be Brood Brothers. Right, let's have a look at the Brood Brothers when my screen stops refreshing. Yeah, I mean, the Crimson Slaughter had a nice idea. Yes. They had a nice idea of, we're tormented by souls and spirits, and stabbing people makes the bad things go away. However, we already have that with the World Eaters, where they have the Butcher's Nails and it digs into them. And if they don't kill someone, then the sadness increases. So they have to do bad things. They just have to. It's something they have to do. It's part of their not personality. They don't want to do it. Oh, but they have to. Yeah. Okay. This is probably where we're going to spend a lot of time. Talking about the Brood Brothers stuff. And so, the new Brood Brothers, people like them. People think, yes, these are good. And should they be on screen? I have them on screen, so they should be appearing. Maybe my stream is just lagging. There it is. My stream was just lagging. Yes. If I move that to there, then I can see what's going on. The Butcher's Snails. Right, I'll get away from the words. So if we just look at the... I mute that so I don't have to hear it. Then we're showing off... there's more models shown off in the little trailer thing that is on screen now than are actually mentioned as pictures later on. But this is 10 Brood Brothers and the Brood Coven set. So someone at Games Workshop pressed Control F, typed in Brood, and was like, okay, we have 2 things for that, so let's go. There we have them. And also there's some new Space Dwarves. Oh, Brood Brothers Sniper is being pointed out as very important. I mean, we have a Brood Brothers Sniper, the Sanctus. Yes. So the law, as it is in the kill team, for how this is working, Space Wolf person, is the whole Space Hulk that a lot of different kill teams were fighting on is going to be crashing into a planet. That planet is a water world with a bunch of things that have platforms around the water, so that's where we saw the Space Marine Scouts fighting the Striking Scorpions. And there is also a cultist group that really doesn't want to die. The Genestealer Cult isn't planning on going down with the planet, so they want to get off the planet and also get some stuff, and then there's a bunch of dwarf pioneers here because they nick stuff. Yeah. So it says, Hearthkin Scouts from the Leagues of Votan facing down Astra Militarum troopers infected by the Genestealer Cult amid the glowing plasma coils of a power generatorium, hitting grizzled kin efficiency against the mad fanaticism of the Brood Brothers. Okay. So these are the 2 containers we get. Big, chunky things. They will come in the kill team set. So, this is all going to end up being... I'm just going to skip them for now and go to the Brood Brothers because they're much prettier. This is going to be an update of the Brood Brothers upgrade sprue that we had for the previous Cadian set. So the previous Cadian set, there was an upgrade sprue for it to turn them more Brood Brothery. They had special rules to be, this is a Brood Brothers unit in the 8th edition Genestealer Cult Codex. Then when the 9th edition came around, the Cult Sentinel was, oh, that's Brood Brothers only. The Cult Lehman Russ was, oh, that's Brood Brothers only. And then the Brood Brothers unit was, you just pick something from the Astra Militarum Codex, you put that into your army. Yeah. You just got the Brood Brothers kit last week. I mean, it's still not a bad kit. It'll still work. Yeah. Ideneth Deepkin for 40k. No. Some people have salvation. Okay. Okay. Just some Brood Brothers. It's just a bit of Brood Brothers. Can we still see? Yeah, we can still see chat on screen. Okay. I still have the old kit. If I bring up the old kit and put that on screen. There. So it's... make it a bit bigger. There. So that is the current Cadian upgrade sprue that's going on. Well, the idea is you get your generic Astra Militarum. Here is your Cadian upgrade thing. The Brood Brothers kit is just another one of these. This is what we're getting, essentially. There's not going to be extra bodies. It's just, yeah, here's some bits to convert the Cadian kit into a more Brood Brothers looking kit. That's it. So it's not a whole new unit in itself. I'm not expecting it to be a new unit. I think it's going to still be, yeah, this is generic Imperial Guard, and now we have them to encourage you to use Brood Brothers, and it's selling an upgrade kit. That's about it. It's an upgrade sprue, yeah. No Brood Sisters, no. I mean, as an upgrade sprue, it's pretty good. We've got Weird Arm. We've got, you know, a million heads. We have Dude with a hammer, Power Maul holding an icon. We have a much bigger icon, which is at least different to the one the Neophytes have. So that can look pretty good. Then we have, that's, I think, the generic standard guy you get with the radio pack. That's meant to be a Vox, but I don't know what it's going to be because we don't really have a use for it in the Brood Brothers set. In 8th edition, the Vox casters had different rules when they were a Brood Brothers unit in the Genestealer Cult army. They were different to the Vox casters that the Imperial Guard got because Genestealers don't get orders. Although if we have Kazakin, as far as I understand the rules, because Kazakin can issue themselves an order, even though it doesn't say voice of command or orders on their unit card, even when we use Kazakin, we can still give them one order. I don't see any reason not to. We have a shotgun. That's cool. I mean, it's probably not going to have any kind of rules outside of Kill Team. There's a sniper, which is surprising, really. So that's maybe making me think, actually, they could put this as its own unit in the Genestealer Cult Codex. I'm not sure which way they'll go, but the Cadians that this unit is based on, like the plastic kit, the rules for the Cadians don't allow sniper rifles because there's no sniper rifle on the regular Cadian sprue. This is clearly an add-on. Alternatively, the Imperial Guard, just regular infantry squad, the one that can have heavy weapons, that can have a sniper weapon. So I don't know if it's going to end up being this is a unit in itself, or this is just a fancy upgrade sprue to look nice. I mean, they've been painted really well. I like this black and brown. It's a good look. It looks very like the black and white cartoon cell shading, things like that. Yeah. Snipers just one piece to let them use them as a culty Kazakin. Yeah, that could work. That could work. And the kit is here to serve kill teams. So what the sniper may end up being is just, you know, it's a cool thing. It's just a lasgun. Could be something like that. We also get a medic. So what I'm doing when I'm looking at these is thinking, hey, you know what we have here? We have a character set. Oh, look, there's our Brood Brothers Doctor. That is, of course, our Biophagus. Yeah, we have a dude with a tiny little arm. It's a guy with a shotgun. We have the sniper. What's the sniper? That's a Sanctus. We have, I mean, this Sergeant model looks fine as a Primus. We've got the claw, we've got the pistol, we've got the sword. That is pure Primus energy. It's up to you if you want to put it on a bigger base. You don't necessarily have to. There doesn't look to be any... There's no heavy weapons kit with this because it's based on the Cadian sprue, and the Cadian sprue and the Cadian unit card don't have heavy weapons. Only the regular infantry squads have the heavy weapons. Yeah. So yeah, it could be like with the Sisters Novitiates where it ends up being a count size in 40k. So really big hammer, maul, with smoke coming out of it for the Sisters. That's just a Novitiate melee weapon. Also assumed to have a pistol. You have 2 swords, well, it's 1 sword and assume you have a pistol. Things like that. Yes, we have... I mean, between the 2 parts here, with this sound system on the background, with the Voxcaster thing on the front, that could become part of a Magos. I mean, you're not going to need a Magos because this set comes with a Magos, but that could be a Clamavus if you wanted a Clamavus. And you could use part of the backpack from the guy a bit further down, and then he can use the radio set, which will allow him to look very Clamavus-y. These come with 28.5mm bases? Surely it's 25mm bases. Not sure. I don't think it says anywhere that, this is a certain base size. No, it doesn't mention anywhere. I mean, all of the Cadians, I would assume they're on normal people-sized bases. I'm going to have a look. Games Workshop Cadians. Games Workshop Cadians, a unit, £30 for 10. Oh my. Their size, yeah, they come on 25mm Citadel round bases. So these guys will also be on 25mm Citadel round bases. And it'll look all very normal. So that's good. Oh yes, of course. In 10th edition of 40k, there is no reason for the Voxcaster to do anything different compared to normal. They get a command point back on a 5+ if you spend a command point on that unit. Great. That's fine. That's totally fine. So yeah, they are indeed 25mm bases. Yeah, just make sure you have a bunch of the current combat patrol. So there should be no reason to rebase the neophytes. I can't see them really changing the neophyte box. It's such a good box, and they would have to come up with something new that also has all of the heavy weapons and all of the special weapons and enough bodies and customization to do it. I think it'll be okay. I don't see them changing the neophyte kit for the Codex. I think they'll just leave it there. 80 neophytes is a lot of neophytes, but I don't think you'll need to rebase them. The Cadian poses, as models, I think they're fine. I think they're fine. It's Games Workshop plastic. I have one which they gave away as like a free model of the month. I can't remember how many months ago. I think it must have been when they got released in 9th edition, so that'd be February last year. Yeah, so I've had that model for a while. I've ended up using them for my kitbashed Reductus Saboteur. So they have a lot of detail. For a Horde army, that's not ideal. But if you're just doing a kill team of them, it looks good. If you wanted to enhance one of your neophyte kits so that they don't all look similar, I mean, it's a very versatile kit. Between the shotguns and the autoguns, even the regular guys can look different. And you've got 3rd generation neophyte heads and 4th generation neophyte heads. Yeah. It's a lot more versatility. But I can absolutely see you getting a Clamavus, a Sanctus Sniper, a... Let's see, do we have anyone that's stabby? Oh yeah, I mean, there's a knife on this lady with the banner. So I'm pretty sure you'll be able to get a Sanctus with a knife. Just give him a running pose. That'll work. Yeah, you can have a Primus with the leader. A Reductus. Now, on the on the video, I don't know if I can get it to just the right time. It's about here. Not quite here. Oh, there. In the corner. On the left, there's someone who is holding 2 knives. So there's your Sanctus. That's your Sanctus person. Your Sanctus with a knife. And I'm hoping that it shows it, unless it's already gone past it. There's some shotgun dudes. More shotgun dudes. More shotgun dudes. Maybe I went past it. There he is. This guy holding a very big demolition charge. There is your Reductus Saboteur. That absolutely looks great as a Reductus. Do that, Reductus Saboteur. That is the good model for the Reductus Saboteur. Yeah, so Kill Team Knife Fighting Club gets yet another person to join them, because the previous kill teams, like the Chaos Legionaries, which was just an upgrade kit for Night Lords, they had someone with 2 knives. The Eldar Corsairs, they had someone with 2 knives. A lot of 2-knife people. Can Brood Brothers even take demo charges? Well, I think it's just that they have the grenades keyword. So that's what it's going to be. I mean, the blasting charges were in 8th edition and 9th edition having their own profile as it's a grenade you throw. So when you get the guy that's a neophyte with the demolition charge, with like a bunch of dynamite strapped together as a stick, that's where you're like, okay, that is meant to represent the grenade's keyword. It never actually did anything extra. It was just the unit has blasting charges. And a bunch of the models have these blasting charges on the persons anyway. Yes, so you can homebrew a knife guy's kill team. Oh yes, the Orc Commando with 3 knives, because he had a knife in his teeth as well as a bunch of other knives. So maybe they have knives only. Yeah, and this is for kill team, so the large bomb could just end up being for kill team only, and then in 40k games, he is assumed to have a lasgun, autogun, Brood Brothers shooting weapon, you know, the neophyte firearms, that sort of thing. Yeah. Take all the knives from all the kill teams and put them on one dude. Just a pile of knives. I think at that point you're summoning a chaos deity. Pretty sure it is that. Oh yeah, and that's of course not the only thing we get. We skip past it. I'll just find it lower down. There it is. It's back. It's the Brood Coven set. So when I was talking about the Combat Patrol, which would be 2 weeks ago, a week Monday, yeah, like nearly 2 weeks ago, then I told you in the Combat Patrol video that they may try and resell us the Brood Coven set, and here it is. So I'm expecting that they may just have no longer doing this as a standalone thing, but they'll put it in this kill team box, and then you buy them all together, and that's how you get the Patriarch. So I think this also kills off any idea that they're going to give us our own separate Patriarch model or a separate Primus model. Yeah. When a Chaos Votann coming? I think the Votann range needs to be expanded sufficiently and be popular enough before they start doing spin-offs. Like the Admech, yes, we have Dark Mechanicus, but they have a few models. Not a lot of models. Ah, yes, and you do get your little familiars in there. The little men's. Yeah, otherwise every Genestealer Cult player is going to end up with this many times over. So I don't think they're going to do a standalone Primus or a standalone Patriarch for when we get the Genestealer Cult Codex and release. It's just going to be, yeah, here's an upgrade sprue, but that's kill team. Maybe a new character, and that's probably what we get. Kinda sucks. Kinda sucks. There's a lot of nice ideas people had on my video for what's the next character going to be, or what's the next unit or something. I was hoping for a standalone Primus. Not sure it's going to happen though, but then again, the Chaos have just got 2 standalone Lords. Yeah. Will they do a standalone release of all the little guys? I'm thinking no. I think what my idea is, as they normally do, they release the big kill team box, which will have the Votann in it. It'll have the Brood Brothers. It has the Brood Coven. And then 6 to 12 months later, that's where we get a standalone box, which will be the Cadians, the upgrade sprue, and the Brood Coven. Yeah, otherwise they could just sell it as an upgrade sprue, which is what they did with the previous one. That's probably something else that can work. Yeah, can't wait for a new Genestealer Cult character. Mm-hmm. You reckon the Kill Team box will be the 10 Cadian models with the Genestealer Cult sprue, and there'll be a wave to take 14 of them? Don't know. Don't know. I am indeed English. Yes. Yes. Oh, put Familiar on a Genestealer Cult upgrade set and see how the Dark Angels had the Watcher on theirs. Yeah, that's a way to do it. Mm-hmm. Games Workshop is cruel. Yeah. Ah, you can a Nurgling set that is just all the familiars. Well, we had the voting on it, and the Biophagus's little familiar, the Alchemicus familiar, is the most popular one. That's the one we like the most. So that is considered now the best familiar. Yeah. I would like a new Patriarch, something with new rules for a Patriarch, something that makes the Patriarch better. I don't think we need a new Psychic character, which I've heard the rumours are a new Psychic character, because we have 2 Psychic characters. Just make the Magos better, just make the Patriarch better, and that'll do. What about a limousine? No, I don't think so. I think we have the cult truck that is that. I am not from Kent. How dare you? How very dare you? Far end of the country. Totally opposite end of the country. If I go any further north, I'm in Scotland. Yes. So, what else did I have written for this? Yeah, mentioned the sniper being possibly just a generic thing or just working in kill team. It is okay for model diversity if you want a lot of things to make your neophytes more interesting, but they're a really good kit anyway. They're one of the better kits that we have. And so if you don't want to buy this right away to get what is essentially an upgrade sprue, if you wait 6 to 12 months, then I think we'll find that it's sold separately by itself. Yeah. I mean, yes, 10th edition does not even have proper psychic stuff. I don't want to be not in Scotland. I am okay with Scotland existing. See, now everyone's loving haggis. Oh no, it's just Lisa loving haggis. Yeah. I'm just not Scottish. Which is why my kilt is not a full kilt. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, if you want more neophytes, when the Hachette Combat Patrol magazine gets working properly, which I'm waiting for, then, I mean, there's still no news on when they're going to do that, or if they're going to do that. It's assumed that their trial run did really well, so there should be more of them, and that is using the current, what is the current Genestealer Cult Combat Patrol set. So that's where you get all the cool stuff. Yes. No more characters, no more units, just more familiars. Yes. Oh, where else we get? Oh yeah, yes. As an alternative, if you're looking at these and thinking, okay, I would like some quite cool novitiates, not novitiates, neophytes, Brood Brothers kind of looking fellows, that's where Familiars is the Mystery Codex. I like that. I like that. Yeah. So, yes, so the blooded Chaos Space Marine, no, the traitor Imperial Guard, it's called the Blooded Kill Team, is a nice alternative if you don't want to wait for these. It has 10 dudes with cool looking stuff. There is one that is a very gnarly looking medic. And there you can get your fix of, if you want this kit but sooner, it's just not going to have like the 2 Genestealer Cult arms that we have that's like, oh yeah, you're a bit weird. You're like 4th generation haven't come out right. for something that's meant to be Brood Brothers, we are very much rocking the 4th generation neophyte look, because Brood Brothers are people who have been hypnotized by the Primus, no, by the Patriarch, into serving the cult, or they are the family members, like the next one born of a Genestealer Cult family, or the existing children, or the parents of Genestealer cultists. Yeah, so they all get hypnotized. They are what Brood Brothers are. These are very obviously neophytes and meant to look like neophytes with the Genestealer Cult ridged head. There's only a couple of them with the helmets that actually look like, oh yeah, that could pass as a generic Brood Brother. He's not the healthiest looking dude, but he is a regular man and a family member. And also, if you get the Blood of the Kill team, then you get the, is it Enforcer? I don't know if it's called Enforcer. The Traitor Commissar. So he's got a Power Fist and a pistol. If you wanted, that can be your Primus model. It also gives you a Chaos Ogryn. So if you wanted, that can be your Abominant. So there's quite a lot of kit bashing or just using alternate Genestealer Cult models. No, using alternate Games Workshop models as Genestealer Cult models. Yeah. Now the Genestealer Cult players can experience the pain of transporting loads of guys with Voxcasters. Ah, well, I've been using quite a few of the Mechanicus Skitarii as some kit-bashed, mixed-in neophyte models, so they do all have the antennas. They are very fragile models, and not quite compatible with the neophytes. Just not quite. I mean, if you wanted, you could just take the Cadian kit as it is and add on some neophyte bits and be like, hey, there it is, I've done it. Before Games Workshop, here's my Brood Brothers. It works. Yeah. So in Kill Team, this is going to not so much replace, but be another version for where you can have... Yes, because the existing one, the Brood Coven, was 10 neophytes, plus 2 of the Locus, the Kellamorph, or the Sanctus. So that can work. Remove the breakable antennas and say they're all retracted. You could just fold them down, snap them off and fold them down. That could work. The Chaos Ogryn has head options. Nice. So yeah, put an aberrant head on there. Put the one with the weird trunk. That could work. Yeah, that's pretty good. I think that's a good option. So if you want this early, there is an existing kit. So what else have we got? Oh yes, there was a thought. This is looking kind of powerful as a kill team. We have a Patriarch in kill team. So that means that they're either going to do some kind of, I don't know, a lower version, a lesser rules for it. Oh, the Patriarch was injured, something like that. Or this is a, rules so it's compatible with the kill team game. Because a Patriarch can just tear apart a lot of people in kill team games. If you're against 6 Chaos Space Marines, or get a full set of 10, I guess you do get the full set of 10, yes. But other kits, or the other kill teams, like 6 Deathwatch Veterans, if you have the Patriarch against them, he can kill 2 of them by himself. So you're thinking that maybe you'll have to swap them out for other models. Yeah, I mean, it could be like the Brood Covens where you have the Neophytes, and then you pick 2 of the characters. Yeah, that could be an option. So it does seem a bit weird that the Brood Coven is there, but it may be that you swap in one of the leaders, so you could have your army led by a Magos or a Primus or the Patriarch, and they're all powered to be roughly the same level. So it does seem weird that the Brood Coven is included, but I guess the alternative was you just put another one of the female Magos, which is standalone, in the box and be like, yep, that's being led by them. You don't think the Brood Coven's in the box? Well, maybe not the standalone box. We don't know about that. But they are at least in the big kill team set, because they are at least in the... They're in this preview trailer, aren't they? They appear somewhere. Let's go to the few seconds that matter. Yeah, they turn up. There's the Magos. There's the Primus. They're standing there. So they're at least in this big box. Maybe the Patriarchs use like an objective, the cult has to protect the Patriarch from an attacker? Possibly. I think it's going to depend on the missions that are in the game. So some of them may have, you have the 10 Brood Brothers and they're led by a Primus and you do some fighting with that. Then the next mission you swap the Primus out for the Magos. And then for the climactic mission, then you have the Patriarch. And it'll be something like that. Not sure if you should buy the current Brood Brothers box for the heavy weapons team. That's, if I remember correctly, a box of 12? It's a bit weird. I mean, it can work. And then you would have 2 models left over. If you also combine that with the 3 models from the Cult Truck / Goliath Rock Grinder, then you have 5 models. And that is like half a squad of something. Yes. But I think maybe this kill team will be a bit like the Inquisition kill team, where you have a bunch of characters or support that you swap in. Because the Inquisition kill team is some people who work for the Inquisitor, and then also you add in 5 Sisters of Silence, 5 Kazakin, or some of the other kill teams. Yeah, so it could work a bit like that. So we don't know either, because they're so vague on the information, whether this will be a unit that is given its own stats for 40k, or if it's just going to be specifically for kill team. Ooh, the Patriarch might work like Vashtor in 9th edition in Into the Gallowdark, where he's opening doors. Possibly. The heavy weapons team needs a 50mm base now. Is it worth buying just because of how many teams you can make with some spare guys? I think it's fine. It also is okay on a 60mm base. Putting the models that are designed for a 60mm base on the 50mm base doesn't look good. I've seen it done. It's bad. In Games Workshop's most recent battle report on Warhammer Plus, they use 60mm bases. So while the new models come with that base size, I think it should be fine on 60mm. Pretty much everyone goes with whatever the base is that you bought it with is usually fine. There are some very, very few tournaments that are like, no, everything needs to be as if it is the new model. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to talk about the Acolytes now, because that's what I think you could turn these Space Dwarves into. So if you bought the whole box, yes, you get your Neophyte / Brood Brothers, you get your Brood Coven. That's okay as a start. If you buy one set of the Acolyte box / Metamorph box, which has loads of extra arms, loads of extra heads, I think it's something like 16 heads for 5 models. It's impressive. Yeah. So the Votan with their trench coats look really good. If you look at the knee pads, I'm showing off the knee pads, they look very Genestealer Cult-y. All of these knee pads, and the size of them looks kind of like the squat kind of Acolyte size that you want. That's what we're looking for. That could be good. So it is brilliant as an Acolyte kitbash. Yeah. So you could have some of the models. I mean, this guy with the 3 sensors, the headset, that could be hiding his crest. I mean, the problem is the beard. But if you look at that lady to the right of him with the flying cap, that's where you could be like, oh, the flying cap is hiding the ridges. The sniper person. You could use the head and then say, yeah, that's hiding the ridges. So that's if you didn't want to just use all of the many Acolyte heads and Metamorph heads that you get in the box. But having acolytes with trench coats is kind of cool. A squad of squats that are just squatting there. It's a brilliant acolyte kitbash. That's what I'm thinking. And the trench coats are cool. The trench coats, let's see if I can find the exact one. There it is, on the robot dude. Every teenage girl who lives near me has this exact coat. All of them go to school with that, where it's just... If you painted the fur to be blonder, it looks perfect. Maybe this is just going to be a British thing that only people that are in Britain can relate to, and everyone else is like, that just looks like a nice coat. I don't get it. What's so interesting about that? Everyone has that coat. That's the coat. Yeah. So you can do a lot with them. Never seen a coat like that. Wow. Yeah. What do I think of rapier batteries as an allied guard unit? I think it's pretty good. It's quite cheap. It's just maybe kit bashing it. So you could indeed take that heavy weapons team from the old Acadian kit and be like, yep, there we go. That's a rapier of some sort. Just bolt the autocannon on top of a las cannon and there you go. Reminds you of the lassies in Yorkshire. Well, good. That sounds standard. Now, thinking again of the acolytes. Oh, we're going to see a lot more trench coats and greatcoats today. That's going to be a thing. Acolytes in trench coats. It's cool. It's cool. So the demo charges there. I kept seeing the Auspex Tactics videos. I know so many of you watched that and you kept saying, oh yeah, that's a rumor video. It's definitely a Genestealer Cult thing. And I kept putting in the comments, it's not a Genestealer Cult thing. He even replied to one of them. And then in the next video, he said it was a Genestealer Cult thing. But never mind. Never mind. It's definitely a Votan thing. They look Votan-y. Yeah. So that hand, demo charge. And we have the robot hand. So that's where you got the hand for the bladed cog, the Mechanicus cult. I don't know. 2 familiars in a trench coat. That could work. I think that could work. I don't know if they could infect an ancestor core, because that's not quite how it works. They're robots and AI things, but they absolutely can infect the squats themselves. I mean, this guy's got a beanie hat, like the orc beanie hat. It's fun. They've got lots of different fun heads on this, and that is a nice pick for Rock and Stone. Yeah. But we definitely have a nice looking squats infected with Genestealer Cult. It can happen in the lore because the squats are basically human. Yes, they slightly modify their own genetics if they want, but that doesn't mean that they can get rid of Genestealer Cult stuff. And if you get enough of them, like this whole pioneer group lost to the Genestealer Cult, was abducted, and then the children of these squats were first generation acolytes, there we go. Mining is more efficient with more arms. Yes. The most sought after of all STCs, the beanie STC. Very well put. Yeah. But you can have acolytes and neophytes coming from generations of squats. They're just going to end up a bit shorter than everyone else. So this absolutely works as an acolyte set. Not just necessarily as a kit bash, just also as it's suitable for the lore. It can absolutely work. You can have your own squats in it. Didn't think that they reproduce in a normal way. But they did. Because they're humans. I mean, they modify their own genetics. They don't necessarily grow their own people. They do both. They do both. Yeah. So it's child is born, modify genetics to get them to be whatever their job's going to be. Yeah. So that's what I think of them. I don't know if they do cloning. But even if they do cloning, in theory, they don't have to clone. I haven't looked too far into the current squats. Life finds a way. I think that's how we have to think of it with Genestealer Cult. Yes. Life finds a way. So it works. I think it works. The older squat law was they're basically abhumans, so it works. In vitro squattination. Oh dear. Okay, that's all of the Brood Brothers stuff I think I'm going to talk about today. And we've done the chaos, which is good. And we're an hour and a bit into the stream. Excellent. This is the time when I can remind you to click the like button on the stream. And also, if you did so wish, linked in the description is the Ko-Fi link, which is where you can fill up the bar at the top with your monetary tips, if you wanted to give me money. It's entirely optional, of course. Hair's getting not quite right. It's annoying. Anyway, I do prefer it if you give through Ko-Fi rather than going through YouTube with a little super thanks and things, which is also fine, just that then YouTube takes some of that money. If you go through Ko-Fi, it's entirely done to me, which is usually what people want. Yes. What if the old jump pack lords will be usable non-legends? I mean, they should be. They should be. Oh yes, there was a vague teaser about Necromunda as, ooh, something's coming. Something's coming for Necromunda. Yeah, Necromunda Secundus, the one overrun by Genestealer Cult. We don't know. It may just be an additional bike, because they've been doing a lot of vehicle stuff. So it may just be, hey, here's the rules to use the bike people in Necromunda, because they've been doing a lot of, and now we ride like it's Fury Road. I think it's meant to be a sequel to that film, either coming out or already out. Not sure. Could the Tyranids win against Necromunda if they invade the planet? Probably. Yeah. Necromunda is having a bit of a civil war at the moment. Yes, there was also a tease for Heresy with the Mechanicum, where it showed a flickering Mechanicus symbol. Wow, we can glean a lot from that. Supposedly a Mechanicus excavation team, huh? Is there a way to run all helmeted in Necromunda? Maybe. Maybe. Don't know all of the models, but there could be. That's it. The sequel Furioso. Yeah. Are there hundreds of hives on Necromunda? I know we focus basically entirely on Hive Primus, where they're having the civil war, where Lord Helmwar lived, and now his daughter is taken over, and also there's a coup happening, so it's not quite a full civil war, but it's a little bit weird. The Secundus hive is broken, because it was full of Genestealers, and they're still living in the ruins. And then there may indeed be other hives. I think it's a hive world. It's just meant to be all of the apocalypse stuff from the films in the 80s. Weird stuff like that, yeah. Okay, we'll move on to the next one. So we've done the Chaos. We've done the Brood Brothers. Let's do weird 4th edition. I think we'll do 4th edition Age of Sigmar. Knowing full well that this is where some people are like, I'm out. See you another time. But there we go. So, there was a trailer. It's not a bad trailer. Oh, it's got subtitles on as standard. I'm looking at the wrong browser. Now I'm looking at the right browser. There we go. Yes, so it's going to be Skaven. I thought, you know, maybe they would have gone as a loop back round. 1st edition was against Chaos, 2nd edition was against Death, 3rd edition was against Destruction. Maybe they could do against Order and have, oh, Sigmar lied, there's going to be a civil war between the forces of Order. But there isn't. It's just, we go back to Chaos and it's Skaven. And we have this whole thing of a lady dying. So Sigmar did indeed lie. Idea being, when everyone dies, they go to Nagash, the god of death. That's Nagash, the god of death. And Sigmar stole their souls, reforged them, and made Sigmarines. There she is, having a million flies go into her. Here she is fighting in 2nd edition, getting her head bonked. Here she is fighting in 3rd edition, fighting the orcs. getting stabbed and just being like, I'm so done with this. It's an attitude for it, certainly. But it's going to be all about, oh, we've got Skaven coming, and then what's else we got? An avalanche of rats. Yeah, some re-released kits maybe, rather than anything particularly special on you. I mean, there's going to be an even bigger Sigmarines, as they've been showing off the different levels of armor. But I could tell when it was green light and bells that were chiming, that's when we're going to get, oh, yep, that's Skaven. We know it's Skaven. So there should be some cool new Skaven stuff. I don't think I'm going to get any of them. I have Skaven, like a full Skaven army. Ooh, thank you, Winbintan. Age of Sigvald. Yes, I mean, Sigvald's a pretty cool model. I like the Sigvald model with his not wearing underwear underneath his cape. Sigvald the Magnificent. Yeah, so here's even bigger Stormcast armor, because every edition needs even bigger armor. Oh dear. There we got a Warp Fire Thrower from a Rat Ogre. I think if people have played the Warhammer Total War games, they'll recognize some of these. Got your snipers. There's your wing dudes. They were in first edition, so I think that's just going to be a revamped kit. And then we have a new weapons thing, which is a cannon on wheels. Yeah, looks good. Looks good. And then we get a dude crushed by it. It's like, yep, that's standard Skaven. Standard Skaven having people die. You shouldn't throw away your axe. Not a good idea. And then the Skaven Lord runs away. That's how you do. That's a Skaven thing. I liked it when that happened. Oh yeah, and there's the woman from the start. And she's like, Sigmar lied, but it doesn't matter that Sigmar lied. So it's really annoying that you build up again and again. The Games Workshop was saying, hey, Sigmar lied. Ooh, what's that about? It's like, well, we know. Every time they're reforged, they lose part of themselves. This has been part of the lore since, I don't know, if not first edition, certainly second edition, where they've been saying, hey, we get less of our personality back. Oh, the cannon sprue got leaked a week ago. I wasn't paying attention. A heavy rattling gun. Very nice. Yeah. Sigvald's armor is 2+ or 7+, depending on how he's facing. Yeah, it's a very nice model. Big and shiny. Did that just refresh? Oh no, it's still there. So there's the even chunkier armor. Yeah. I see. Sigmar lies all the time. He's the man who became a god, got yeeted at the abyss. I mean, he's not doing amazing when he's like, I was going to defend this world, and then he didn't. And it didn't work. And that sucks. Yes. But do the protagonists in Age of Sigmar know? Well, there was quite a few of them that were like, oh, I'm going to find a cure for this, or I'm going to keep going, or maybe not all of them knew, but I'm thinking quite a few of them found out relatively quickly. In the Warhammer Plus animation for Blackmane, I think that's her name, then she knew that when she's reforged, she didn't have as many memories as before, and the first episode was all about her trying to remember some of what happened before, just some of it, so that it can be, hey, there was something I needed to do, and then I got killed, and it was important. What was it? Yeah. So the Sigmarines have the issue that Space Marines have for new players. Large range of models, what do you buy? I mean, you pretty much go with whatever's the new kit, usually. Usually it's something like that. That's just, you go for the big thing or whatever you want. I don't know if there's many people are like, oh, I don't exactly know what to get. Space Marine players, new Space Marine players tend to just pick whatever they think is cool and go with that. Like, here's a box set, and there's always brand new box sets for the Space Marines. Every edition, of course, is new Space Marines. Then it's, you get what you want. Yeah. Eventually, they become so much like the undead that Nagash has because they lose so much of themselves. It could be that. I can't see any reason why not. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That could work. That could work. Is there anything else for this? I think it's just, yep, we got some, here's the cool moments. That's basically it. So there'll be a new Lord on Beast. I think they had them mentioned before in like 8th edition Warhammer Fantasy. It was, oh yeah, you can put them on this weird kind of monster, but people had to kitbash their own. I'm expecting this is going to be an Age of Sigmar only thing, not compatible with Warhammer Fantasy. As we already know, the Skaven are not going to be getting any kind of army book in the returned 9th edition Warhammer Fantasy Battles. I don't know if they're officially calling it that. They may just be calling it, it's Warhammer. It's Warhammer Fantasy Battles. Play Warhammer. That'll be about it. Yeah, and not so much Skaven Cavalry, because they did have them, which were just slightly bigger giant rats being ridden by other people, but they were only made by Forge World, so they didn't have mainstream rules. It's just going to be a lord on a monster. Yeah. It's officially called Warhammer the Old World, of course, because it's set so many years before the events of the rest of Warhammer Fantasy. Yeah. Still waiting for Chaos Dwarves back? Maybe not gonna happen. Maybe not. Yes, the Mountain Skaven Warlords were indeed a thing. What a lot of people did, because you'd also have them mounted on Rat Ogres, I think. Bone Ripper Rat Ogres. No, Bone Ripper was just for Thankful. But there was a big Rat Ogre. You could put them on. So people just took the one from the Island of Blood, stuck a clan rat on top, and were like, there you go. There's my lord. That works. Oh yeah, the Skaven army are indeed fun, and you just play the cartoon villains and be like, oh, I'll get you next week. Insert name here. Ooh. Could have a Patriarch mounted on a larger mutant Genestealer. Don't know. I think if anything, the Patriarch would be mounted on a throne, and the throne might be carried. Yeah. I did the new Solar Auxiliary last time there was a reveal, and I thought, these are pretty cool, but, you know, they're maybe really nice as kitbash for neophytes. Optional. Otherwise, it's a really expensive Imperial Guard army. Otherwise, if you want Imperial army for 30k, you absolutely can. And they're quite good. Thank you, Junfer. Thank you. That's very nice of you to say. You could directly mount a familiar on the Patriarch. That's how it would go. That's what it would look like. Yes. Absolutely. What's the next thing? Oh, yes. Right. So, 4th edition. 4th edition, 4th edition. Ah, yes. What does all of it mean? What's happening with the 4th edition? Well, it is going to mean that all of the army books are now invalid. So that's fun, but it does mean that they're going to get, much like they did in 40k 10th edition, you get a free on release index rules. That'll do you for quite a while. So this is the first time they've done a big revamp of the rules since Edition 0. And Edition 0 was just all of your Warhammer Fantasy armies got free index rules. So that's where the Tomb Kings and the Bretonnians technically do have rules in Age of Sigmar games. And they're still compatible with this edition. They're just really not good because power creep. So 4th edition is going to be the first big change since that initial launch. And when they did Edition 0, there also were no points. It was just recommended that you had what looks like roughly equal armies based on the number of models. So if you had Nagash and 3 Vampire Lords on dragons, that was roughly equal in their eyes to 5 Musketeers. So we kind of made up our own rules based on the kind of stats you've got, because there's no toughness in Age of Sigmar. No toughness. On your profile you have a hit roll and you also have a wound roll. So you always hit on that roll. You always wound on that roll. So you might have, as a standard kind of profile, weapon skill to hit 3+ and to wound 4+. That's whether you're fighting chaff infantry or massive monsters. Then the way they balance it is the massive monsters have a really good save, or the massive monsters have half damage, or so many wounds, just like 20 odd wounds for your pretty regular monster, what you'd think of as the equivalent of like a predator tank. That's how they manage it. So yeah, Carnifex in Age of Sigmar would probably have 16 to 20 wounds. There's mentioned that Age of Sigmar has a double turn system. So you roll each turn to see who goes first. So it could be, oh yeah, player 1, then player 2, then next turn, player 1, then player 2. Or it could be then for turn 3, player 2 goes first, meaning they get a double turn. At the end of that second turn, player 2 goes, and then at the start of turn 3, player 2 goes again. So they've mentioned that they're going to keep that as a mechanic, but they're going to change how the points are scored. So it may be different scoring, like you don't get as many victory points if this is your double turn, and you get the choice to then do a double turn. So if you just want to go all in and smash the enemy, yeah, you take the double turn. If you just want to have the points, the victory points, then maybe you don't go for the double turn. Yes. Oh yeah, spilling damage is also a thing. Yeah, so damage 5 will kill 5 little infantry dudes with 1 wound, or do 5 wounds from a big monster. The double turn is, it depends. It depends. Oh yeah, you can absolutely do Cheese Stealer, like Age of Sigmar Skaven, new models into Genestealer Cult. That works. Yeah, so they're going to keep the double turns. I think they're okay. It's just that sometimes you can be caught so off balance, or you're relying on a double turn, which is a bit similar to, I'm relying on getting this really good combo of stratagems off. I can't plan for it though. Yeah. It's going to be pretty similar. Yes, can't score if you're all dead due to double turn. So that's where you like, I'll go straight for that. The Age of Sigmar rules at the start, yeah, they weren't great. When it got to Edition 1, proper Edition 1, I was playing that and I was having fun, which is not something I had for 8th edition Warhammer Fantasy. So I could just take all of my models, all my Skaven, all my vampire counts, and it was enjoyable. I was having fun again playing Warhammer Fantasy. So I'm never going to be that harsh on Age of Sigmar. Yeah. Whereas in 40k, the damage is different just so we can have actual anti-tank weapons and actual anti-infantry kind of weapons. So a flamer will kill multiple little dudes, but a las cannon will at most kill 1. It stops it being, do I take the heavy bolter or the las cannon? Well, I take the las cannon because it's going to do more damage. Yeah. The Lumineth get different things based on the double turns. Oh yeah, 8th edition Warhammer Fantasy was horrid if you were not an elf player. And they're still pretty nasty now that Warhammer Fantasy Old World Battles TM has come back. Because they move really quickly. Average movement for an army in Warhammer Fantasy is 4 inches. You can march to go 8. They move 6, and you can march to go 12. Their shooting is really good. They have crossbows, massive ballistic crossbows, and loads of archers. They're fast in combat, so they're almost always going first. So you charge them, they stab you first. They kill your front rank. You step forward, and that's it. You don't get to fight anymore. So that's annoying. Yeah, and they have really good magic. So if you're like vampire counts and you need the magic to work to make your army work, they can outmagic you. The way you defeat the high elves is by shooting them. The vampire counts have 1 gun in the army, and it is like an 8-inch scream from the Banshee. So it kind of sucks. Oh wow, people fighting over the last Bretonian box. Oh. Yeah, nasty. Yeah, I think for me as well, the last edition of Fantasy I properly enjoyed was 6th edition. It was much better rules, much easier to follow. 8th edition was just awful. Just awful. There were skirmishing rules basically removed, and I had an Eshin Skaven army. That is all skirmishers. So you have to skirmish and then rank up to fight. And you have to have facings even though you're like a skirmishing ball. So Old World probably does run on nostalgia, but quite a few people are enjoying it. There's someone at my club has just got into it. They 3D printed their own Empire army and they were like, let's go. Yeah. Ooh, Max. It's such a grimdark universe. Imagine if the French were real. I know, I know. Such horrors. Yeah. Oh well. Yes. So, yes, what does it mean for the army? There's going to be a rebuilding of the core rules. Your army book will be invalid, but you'll get a new free downloadable faction pack. And then we have Spearhead. So Spearhead is the combat patrol for Age of Sigmar. I don't think I have any of these just from the models I've already got, because I've got Dark Elves, which don't quite fit with any of these, because the Cities of Sigmar one, which is what the Dark Elves are now part of, is very much human-focused. My Skaven are not quite right for this, and my vampire counts, I don't have the big monsters. I like all the foot stuff. You know, vampires on foot, leading skeletons and ghouls, and you can have some zombies, but I'm not going to lead them. So Summer, just like last year, Summer was 10th edition 40k. This is going to be Age of Sigmar. I'm not planning on doing much coverage, if any coverage, of Age of Sigmar. I don't know if I'll be playing the next edition. At the moment, I just feel like there are so many rules and so many changes, and I have so many videos to make. At the moment, I have more thoughts running in my head than I have breath in my body. And there is not enough time to make all of the videos I want to make. Especially when I have the big video, as mentioned, that's going to be what I plan as like next week, a big thing for next week, and an anniversary stream, and then maybe something else for like the start of April, and then I don't know, some stuff. What don't I play? I don't play High Elves, and I don't have Dwarves. But there's quite a few things. Yeah. Kings of War. Oh yeah, Kings of War is really good. Kings of War is a good game. It's quite fun. It's pretty simple. It's what Age of Sigmar... No, it's what Warhammer Fantasy Battles should go for. I like I like people fighting on foot. God, you're all so weird. Why are you being weird, chat? What's with the weirdness? Yes, it is generally nice to see Old World doing quite well. Could I use them as Dark Elves in 40k? I mean, probably. Yeah, probably. Okay, I think that's all for that one. Yeah, so reforged into a new edition. Great, great. And it comes with new models. It comes with new Chaos stuff. So if you wanted new Chaos stuff, there we have a lady. We have a lady who sits on a big monster, and she has a mutating spear, which mutates everything that it touches, including her, if she's not concentrating on it. And one time she fell asleep, and that's why she got horns. Just for a moment she fell asleep, or lost concentration. I don't know if she's allowed to put it down while she's sleeping. I mean, I hope so. Otherwise you just have to dream non-mutating thoughts. Can people do that? I don't know. But she's like the leader of all of the Chaos Lords. The Varangard are a bunch of Chaos Lords that got together to be minions. She is the Lord of the Lords, who is also a Lord underneath Archaon, who got resurrected. Then there's this, the Dawnbringers Crusade with, yes, ooh, got the Hounds of Chaos. So 2 new cities have been founded. That's an expansion of Age of Sigmar lore. So there's now humans, more humans and dwarves and elves all over the place. And these Chaos forces are probably gonna smash one of them. Because you can have some nice things, but not a lot of nice things. Just a little bit. And then there's a terrain piece, which looks fine. I don't usually go, ooh, that's great about swirly terrain that can't just be used in regular games. So when we had the Frontierist terrain, when that came out with the Genestealer Cult versus Mechanicus kill team, that was cool because I thought, yeah, that works really well for 40k. This doesn't work really well for regular Age of Sigmar games, I don't think. It's just there. Yeah. So they'd done the whole, yes, 3rd edition of Age of Sigmar was about setting up new armies, fighting off orcs, fighting off everything else. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The girl on the monster is the sister and the monster is a woman. Weird. Hmm. Yeah, allegedly, Maria and Andrew, hello, supposedly we'll be getting a new character model. But otherwise, I would love to see something not that. Just, the problem is, all of the stuff that we could have that would expand are already existing in the Brood Brothers for Imperial Guard. Otherwise, I like the idea of like an open-faced Sentinel Powerlifter. Bring us back the Powerlifter and have that. Yeah. Hmm. What else have we got? Oh yes, you can indeed stick a bolter on a Sigmarine and it does pass. I've seen people use the Sigmarines as like captains with artificer armor with a Thunderhammer. You just swap out the shield for a bolt gun and it does work. It does indeed look good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, this reveal as a whole, I have gone, this morning. So yeah, I wasn't going to stay up till 3 a.m. for that. It was just, oh yeah, there's some Brood Brothers. Okay. We don't have more details about them though. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yes, it is indeed 9 p.m. in the UK. So I don't know how long this stream's going to go on. It's going to be at least 2 hours. So another 20 minutes minimum. Then you definitely won't miss stuff. And of course, we've got all the stuff from earlier. Yes. Oh yeah, we need a forklift certified unit in 40k. That's the Genestealer Cult with the open-faced powerlifter thing. Just so we can say, get towards him. But it's like picking up a child to give to the patriarch. Lovely switch. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that could be good. That could be good. So something like the Dread Knight, something like the weird Scout Dreadnought that the Space Marines had, which I didn't much like. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that could work. That could work. Oh, yes, that's right. There was also a rumor engine thing with a scroll work thing that's got like fancy flowing bits. I did not prep an image of that. But all it basically is black and white image of some bits of scroll with text on them. I'm thinking that's going to end up being for the Sisters of Battle Codex, and it may be a Canoness with jump pack. That's been something that existed in the lore and in the rules in 2nd edition, though there wasn't a model for it in 2nd edition. Then, oh, Paul, whatever models you like, I probably hate for the Space Marine range. I think that's just how it is. Yeah, you like Centurions in the Invicta. I just do not. Oh. Yes. So yes. Oh, what's my expectations for the new Genestealer Cult Combat Patrol? I mean, if you have one already, you could get a second one of the current one, or you can wait for the Hachette magazine to come out and give you the bits you want later on. Alternatively, yeah, you could buy another one now. My expectations for the new Combat Patrol, I've done a whole video about it. If you go to the channel and videos and search like Genestealer Cult Combat Patrol, it'll come up. It was like 4 or 5 videos ago. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not a dreadnought if the living Space Marine pilots it. I know, it's weird. Weird. Oh. Yes, you could wait for the new Battle Sisters Codex. So it probably will be that the random scroll work is a... Ooh, thank you very much, Bibbity. Bibbity Bobbity, thank you. And other similar puns. That's greatly appreciated. I'm definitely feeling the motivation to get on and do that big video. Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, Lord Sevelax, it was the first thing I mentioned, the Chaos Space Marine stuff. So it will be there. And after this stream, I will put timestamps so that people know when we're talking about different stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm. How much money do we need to sacrifice to Games Workshop buying Combat Patrol so that Nottingham doesn't fall into the ocean? Goodness. I think they're doing all right on the combat patrols. Mm-hmm. Oh, I assume that Paul is here because he's procrastinating. Yes, he ended his stream and he's immediately, what's everyone else doing? I thought I got an influx of like a dozen extra people. Very nice, very nice. Perhaps I can provide lore-accurate painting schemes as I know a lot about Genestealer Cult. It is basically whatever you want. There are so many Imperial Guard regiments that you can pick anything and go, yeah, that's a version of that. Or just some different thing where, yeah, I'm going to do Genestealer Cult and their forestry workers, so they're in bright orange and green, or then they're like fleshy, more Genestealer Cult parts are brown, because brown and green is a really nice contrast. Yeah, the Genestealer Cult sub-factions don't have specific set colours, but some bright colours, that can work. Yeah. Oh, the Sisters Combat Patrol is not worth a multi-buy. I don't think it's even worth a single buy at this point. I would wait for the new Sisters of Battle Combat Patrol when that comes out in summer. The Redactors Codex is Codex Centurions, where it's all Centurions. No, I want it to be Codex Familiars, where it's all the Genestealer Cult Familiars. Yeah. Yes, the Codex is still confirmed for this summer. Yes, there's been no leaks of the Genestealer Cult Codex or the Sisters of Battle Codex, and I'm kind of hoping there isn't, which means I can do the videos I want to do in the run-up to that, and not just have to drop them when they're already pretty well scripted. But we'll have to see. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next kind of Age of Sigmar thing. Oh, yes, we've got a not kill team thing. Frostgrave, which has 2 men in a trench coat. So trench coats have indeed come back. There it is. There's the man. It's a dude. It's not like a pretend thing on top. It's a guy sitting on top of his son, and his son is badly burnt. So there is 2 men in a trench coat, the official model. Though we were talking about having the Acolytes made out of the Pioneers. That's really cool. But there is your 2 men in a trench coat. And if you want some of these, I mean, it's not bad if you want to have like Admech praise the motive force. Use these fellows as that squad of 5 that's all like got their hands sticking out, got sticks, and they're like, oh, lightning and motive force and stuff. So if you wanted these alternate Mechanicus models, you absolutely can. I'm just hoping that there's enough people that like doing multi-part building and kit bashing and aren't like, oh, I don't know if a tournament would accept that. I usually don't cater to tournament people. I cater more towards, here's how to learn a faction. Here's how to do a cool thing, something fun, something cheap, getting your money's worth. That out of an army, rather than here's tournament stuff. Although when I do tournament stuff, it does really well, which is annoying and I don't want to feed it, but that is a beast that in turn feeds me with views and money and stuff. So business compared to me, they're at odds sometimes. I want to please you, but I also want to stay true to myself. It's a difficult balance. Difficult balance. And then we have some nice ghouls, which look kind of cool and ghouly. They do butchery. It's not bad. I can't think of any cool kit bashers, alternate models you could use these as. They're just nice ghouls. They're pretty good. And some cards. So I don't have a massive amount to say on them, other than, yep, that's some nice models. Or instead you can have the not the bees. Where is the not the bees? Here it is. The not the bees. That's a lot of bees. That is a person with spiky thorns coming out their head, and they're all in pain and torment, and they want to get some clear water so they can be cured of the constant pain of having vines growing out of themselves. But that's what you get when you're an elf and you want to be one with the tree spirits. Yes, that's a lot of bees. Not the bees. Not the bees. But there will be so many bees. But every bee will need painting. That was my first thought as well, Paul. It looks horrendous to paint. So I did it with the Gellerpox Infected because that came with 4 little swarm things. There was a big one, easy. There was one that's like 3 in 1, that's fine. There's one that's 2, it all works, it's good, it's good. And then I got to the final one, which is like 50 little models. And that just stayed on my desk for maybe a year. And it's there, and I will eventually paint it. Yeah, eventually. And then I did, and it was like an annoying paint session. Ah. Yeah, the 2 guys in the trench coat. It's very much the trench coat stream. I didn't want to say this is the trench coat stream, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm just going through chat. Making sure I'm caught up. Oh yeah, we have the other side of the models. All the Ossiarch stuff. This guy is a centaur, and apparently being a centaur is humiliating. It's a curse. It's awful. Yeah, I don't know. Seems pretty cool to be a centaur. So it's nice to have a weird, here's a bunch of creepy models. And then you have dogs made of bone. Okay. And then you have harpies made of bone, but they don't have arms. Doesn't look like they have arms. They're just wings with feet. That's a version of harpies. And then you have some regular dudes on foot. These are made of bone, reinforced bone, the best of the bone put together to be more bony, and then you get armor of bone. Okay, good. So in Dungeons and Dragons terms, you're like heavily resistant to piercing damage, but extra vulnerable to bludgeoning damage. I don't know if people play enough D&D to know that. Or you can just be like, yes, stabbing skeleton, not good idea. Hitting skeleton with big stick, good idea. I'm glad yes, we like centaurs. Centaurs are cool. What's worse, painting the bees or Harlequin patchwork? I mean, the Harlequins probably. But you can do the Harlequins in different lines. You could do it where it's like the Space Marine Howling Griffins where it's quartered. So you do one leg one colour, one arm another colour, and it looks a bit like that. That can work. That can be pretty good. Babe. Beeb. BB. Not babe. Yes. Name of person. I'm reading your message now. Dogs made of bone would be far too distracting. They'd just keep chasing themselves. Yeah. Am I anticipating a Genestealer Cult mechanized detachment? I am indeed speculating and expecting that, because I made a video about how to run Genestealer Cult as an all mechanized force. So I'm hoping that there's a detachment to follow that up. Yes. My Genestealer Cult colors are red and blue. The Genestealers are red, like High Fleet Kraken kind of red. And then the different clothing is blue. So that as you go through the generations, like Acolytes are half red, half blue. And then you get to the Neophytes where it's almost all blue with a tiny bit of red. So it's a nice way that with the color scheme, you can see the progression through the generations. Yeah. I'm just still looking at the bees. Too many bees! Just too many bees. But at least we know where one of the rumor engine images is from. Yeah, it looks like a paint to paint. Right, and then I think the last thing is that we have dwarves back in fantasy. Oh, and we have a weird tree with a mouth. Good. It's meant to be a walking tree. It's a tree that walks. It decided it's not just going to sit in the ground and eat people when they fall into it or sleep against it or something. It's going to walk around. So this one, as you can see, is tied down and has had a shrine made out of it and is alive. So it is technically something where you can push people into it and eat them. Cool. That's a nice Warcry thing. That's all right. That's all right. Yeah, so now I think the last thing is the dwarves. They're coming next as being re-released for Age of Sigmar. We've just had the announcement that orcs are being re-released with, I think it's 1 new model, maybe 2 new models. Otherwise, it's like, hey, the dwarfs are coming back. There's your battle battalion. It is called a battalion. Same models as we had before. There's your dwarven mountain holds. Is that it? Yeah, that's the new model. So it's a king on shields. We've seen that sort of thing before. It looks really nice. Quite nice. It looks okay. I would like to be transported other ways. I mean, looking at the hands of the guys, they might get trapped there. I wouldn't want that. Little bit of buckling, not working. So it just lets the dwarves stand up to people and be regular height. Yeah. Then we have a nice Thane model with like scaly cloak, so he's maybe killed either a dark elf who was riding a cold one or a lizard man. It's, you know, getting the dwarves out of their mountain holds a little bit. They're not all defensive, but they're mostly defensive. We have the returning plastic kits, so it's got lots of gold symbols to say, yeah, these are coming back, and they're looking a little bit old. I think these models came out around 2004, so they're 20-year-old models. Yeah, it's fine. And then you have even older models, but they're back in resin. So you've got some resin models coming back, and then you've got metal models coming back because you've got the Forge. Forge is kind of cool as an idea. I think only the base with the 3 guys in it was actually the Forge itself. The one dude sticking something into the Forge is a pretendy little cool piece. I don't think it has rules itself. And then even more metal things for Goblin Hewers. No, is it the they mentioned the Goblin Hewer. Yeah, the Goblin Hewer is an artillery piece. It throws axes like a catapult would throw stones. Just loads of axes, killing goblins. And then you have your even older dwarves, which look okay. When I look at all of these metal models, and then I compare it and think of the current Games Workshop things where it's like, oh, we have monopose things. That's fine, but metal models were monopose. The Genestealers had some metal models. The Battle Sisters were all metal, and I have a lot of the metal models, but you don't buy a lot of them, which means that when Games Workshop comes out with a new plastic kit, but it's monopose, I'm very much less interested in buying it, or, you know, buying more than one of it, unless I can make sufficient kit bashes out of it. Which is why I'm enjoying the Deathwatch Kill Team veteran box, because it's one of the slightly older ones that's multi-part. That's why I like the Neophyte Squad, because it is multi-part. You can put on whatever guns you want to any of the models, and it works. Yeah. Dwarf is indeed drinking. Dwarf's always cracking open a cold one. Dwarves are all about drinking like that. The Genestealer Cult Kill Team could have had more effort into it. I don't know. It is just an upgrade sprue. That is the thing. And then the Brood Coven tacked on. I think the general consensus of us all is this is decent. It's nice. I put a poll out this morning. How far is the poll going? I think the poll on the community tab was looking at... Come on, load. Load. There we are. 56% like it. 44% are like, it's an upgrade sprue. I can't get that excited about an upgrade sprue. That's probably my feelings as well. It's an upgrade sprue. It's okay. I would have liked something better. But as we got something at all, that's nice. Right, that is all of the notes that I had for Adepticon. Great. And we are almost at the 2-hour mark. So this does mean that we can just sit back and chat about whatever we want. And then afterwards, I don't know, I'll maybe go to sleep or something. I had my fish and chips before I came on the stream, just so everyone who isn't in Britain knows that I have been eating fish and chips. And Ping can be like, oh, he did the British thing, he ate the British food. Yes, I did. And it was great. I really enjoyed it. What fish, though? It was cod. I don't know if that's more expensive than haddock. Yeah. It was a cod. Now you want fish and chips. With what sauce for the chips? Oh, I just got vinegar. A little bit of salt, but not a lot of salt. And then vinegar. You don't need to cover it in gravy because you don't want gravy with your chips and fish. It's fine by itself. It's okay. I prefer not to have gravy. Yes, have some tea. Oh, well, I had the tea beforehand. I'm glad vinegar is the correct take. I'm glad we're agreed on this. You'd like to tune in more? Do I have a streaming schedule? Well, no. I do the streams whenever I feel like it, I'm afraid. Or if it's something where, oh, I can talk about this for 2 hours. If it's something where, oh, I can talk about it for half an hour, I'll make a 10-minute video about it. So I do have another stream planned for not necessarily this weekend, next week, but next week there will be a new stream, which will be my 1-year anniversary thing of streaming, of being a VTuber, of being on YouTube. So yes, there is that. Yeah, random task, mods, can we get the mods on random task? Who said ketchup goes on COD? No. But no, I don't have a streaming schedule. I just do it whenever I fancy. So mushy peas are optional. I just had garden peas today, which was my choice. Mushy peas are really good. Mushy peas are good. Yes. I don't really have lore videos as a VTuber because my lore is incredibly simple. I was a person and I played some Warhammer. I didn't go outside much. And then I met a vampire who made me a vampire. And now I can't go out during the day because the sun will kill me. So I still just stay inside and play some Warhammer. That is the extent of my lore. That is the full lore. I'm a vampire that plays Warhammer. There we go. There's no need to extend it more than that. That is the whole of the lore, yes. So we'll see more about the VTuber stuff. Will be more the next stream that happens. Yeah. I don't know if they meant more. I don't know. Is there more 40k lore? I don't know. What does chat fit in? Chat? Yeah, I guess chat would be like the ghouls, the Igors, the supporters, the loyal legionaries, the people in the army, the support von Carmian, which is also suitable for, 40k, for Space Marines, and also the Genestealer Cult, Neophytes work. And I'm sure that somewhere the Neophytes, there'll be Neophytes that are Battle Sisters. Yeah. So that's why on my Ko-fi, which is linked in the description, then you can go there and there are set tiers where you can pick different things and be like, I want to be a cool novitiate. We need a name for Von Carmian's fans. I think it was generally agreed that we are Von Carmian's Legion. That you are Von Carmian's Legion. Yeah, so that's generally the one. At what time do I usually stream? I think it's about the same time as whatever today was for you, everyone around the world. Normally that time. If I do it earlier, and I have done it earlier, where it's like, let's do a 10 AM UK time stream, I was like, I am not sufficiently awake for this. And also, there's work to be done. Are we now just talking about different English foods? Which is good. I'm fine with that. Where we have shepherd's pie. Do I stream once every few weeks? I mean, maybe I do. Sometimes it's like every 2 weeks. Sometimes it's every month. It's not a consistent schedule. It's definitely not a consistent schedule. But yeah, every couple of weeks, whenever there's like, a thing, I can talk about that for ages. Yeah. Chips in beef dipping. Oh yeah, that's a nice one. Shepherd's pie needs to contain more shepherd. Absolutely. You know it does. You all know it does. But then it's only suitable for certain people who maybe drink blood, just as an example. Hypothetically. Oh dear. There's a lot of good English food. And then whenever you think of an American food, especially American food, maybe some of the Irish foods, then the Canadian food as well. Yeah, a lot of that is British food, like apple pie. Oh, did you think apple pie was American? The apples existed in England, then were brought over to the United States, I think, because there was a whole thing of like, I'm getting my law for America for the Simpsons episode, where there's a Simpsons episode where they explain how someone spread apple trees which didn't previously exist in the United States. So maybe that is what it is. So yes, as American as that British apple pie. I have no idea about how Welsh food works. Johnny Appleseed. Ah, good, good. I know my American law. But sometimes I just hear about stuff in America and I'm thinking, this doesn't sound like a real country. Like they do stuff on St. Patrick's Day, apparently, where you pinch people if they're not wearing green. That sounds like a made-up rule to bully children. That's absolutely what it did. Yeah. Oh yeah, Yorkshire puddings are amazing. You need to get Yorkshire puddings. Yes, the British are taking credit for the existence of apples. Yeah, there's no pinching in Ireland. It's just in the United States where you bully children. It's like, oh, what's the matter, little poor child? You couldn't afford green. Be beaten up for a day. Government lets us do it. Or something. Ah. Yeah. Okay, I'm now running out of steam. So, is there anything else in particular we wanted to talk about? Yeah, no one knows anything about anyone else's food. There's no way to do it. Oh yeah, you fill the Yorkshire puddings with gravy. And if you want, you could do toad in the hole, but the toad in the hole, I've seen it somewhere where people just pick a sausage up and slam it through the middle of a Yorkshire pudding, and that is wrong. What you're meant to do is make it in a tray, so it's a mix of sausages and like Yorkshire pudding batter. Yeah, it's everything. Toad in the hole is good. Okay, Rambo had an idea of using the new upgrade sprue on neophytes for a hive cult inspired chaos worshipping Nurgle worshipping Wormblade. You know, that's pretty good. Alternatively, as I've said earlier, you could use the chaos blooded kill team if you wanted something a bit more, you know, chaos themed. Yes. Best tip to hold objectives of the Genestealer Cult besides aberrants. I tend to use neophytes. I mean, 20 neophytes may be more than you need, but it's definitely enough. The benefit is, if the enemy kills 14 of them, you're going to get more back with the cult banner, and you get more models back if you're on a objective. So lots of neophytes are a very good way to hold objectives. Alternatively, having a Sanctus, or any of the lone operatives, whatever the cheapest lone operative is, stick them on the home objective. They can't be shot at. They hold that. Yeah. Tips for newer players. I mean, I'm thinking I have loads of videos. If you're just getting started into 40k, I have 10.5 things you need to know as you get started. So that's a video in itself. Otherwise, new Genestealer Cult players, new Sisters players, any of the videos are a pretty good starting place as long as it doesn't have tournament or meta in the title. Yeah. Necrons. Okay, I have now faced a lot more of the Necron units, a lot more of the Necron detachments. The C'tan is an absolute pain. I've considered being like, oh, okay, we need to set up like a support group for C'tan survivors, because half damage on a very high toughness 11, and they have a 4+ invulnerable save, so you're quartering damage that you're receiving, and then on top of that, yeah, with the 4+ invulnerable save, halving damage, high toughness, and a 5+ feel no pain, you have to do an absurd amount of damage to them, and then they can heal D3 wounds at the start of every Necron player's turn because they have reanimation protocols. And there's more, as there's always more. The Technomancer, which is one of the cryptechs that the Necrons can pick any Necron model and restore some wounds to them. So when it comes to the end of April and the balance patch, which is just going to change points, in theory just going to change points, I think the C'tan will go up in points. And I think the Technomancer will go up in points. I'm not sure if the Wraiths will go up in points. I think it's all about the Wraith combo is when you add the Technomancer in to give them a 5+ feel no pain, that's when they get even more powerful. Yeah. Yeah, tar pitting the C'tan seems to be the best idea. You've just got to pick the right thing. Even playing for objectives with Necrons can be difficult because the Hypercrypt Legion, it teleports all over the place, and also the C'tan, when they choose to advance, they also teleport. So if you had an open objective, zoop, there they go. They're on there. That's very annoying. Yeah, we need the auto-kill rock cutter. Or, I don't think that worked against monsters. But there was the cutter to just slice characters in half, and there was the drill to pierce the heavens to do multiple damage. Yes. C'tan, I don't know, they just need maybe just a points increase. Right now, the C'tan is the same points as the non-emissary. I have played several games against the non-emissary. It is not that bad. If you put something of equivalent points value against the non-emissary, it goes down. So tanks with enough, you know, the correct firepower, not an anti-infantry gun, or kill teams that are like 250 points, like Kill Team Cassius. I had a whole video where I talked about devastating wounds, how that can be exploited with Kill Team Cassius, which is about the same points as the non-emissary, and Cassius can take down the non-emissary. But the non-emissary being the same points as the C'tan is just a bit irritating. Yeah. Bring an actual mining tool and hurt your opponent. Maybe. I've also been fighting against Black Templars, and they're still really annoying because of their feel no pain on like everything. So you hit them with damage too. Oh yeah, if you're Black Templars, always go for the feel no pain vow, because even if it's a 6+, just that, and then you get hit by something that's damage too, like a demolition charge. Loads of them. If you pass at least one of those 6s, that's a guy surviving, because the demo charge that would have killed the next man is instead killing that half-injured man. Yeah. Yeah. What's my favourite Genestealer Cult lore-wise? I mean, I just like the generations. I have the Genestealers, then the first generation, second generation, third and fourth, and where the different special parts of them come out. Like the Primus is a second generation Acolyte. The Magos is always a fourth generation hybrid. So that's cool. That's cool. Oh yeah, yeah, the Black Templars also get the leadership 5+. Yeah, the Acolytes having the points boost and all of the rules nerfs. It's almost like the person who fixes the points doesn't get to talk to the person that fixes the rules, because we often see a double nerf coming where the points go up and the rules change, if it is indeed that 3-month period. January was one of them. September, like August, September, was the other one. So for this one, at the end of April, we're just expecting a points change. Nothing else is coming. Yeah. Oh yeah, your dudes is indeed the best lore. Yes. Lisa wanting to see some named Genestealer Cult characters. Possibly. Just having like a traveling, well, Kellamorph helping people. That could be cool. Yeah. Oh yeah, Repentia are good. Arco-Flagellants are good. All very good models. A Kellamorph named Clint. Yeah, I mean, it would need the cowboy hat. It would definitely have to have the cowboy hat. Yes. Yes. Repentia and Arco-Flagellants both work very well. Now that there's been a points drop on the Repentia, they are definitely viable alongside or as well as or instead of the Arco-Flagellants, whereas before it was you take Arco-Flagellants. Not a lot of reasons not to take Arco-Flagellants other than that. Yeah. Coming from reserves on foot, that works. Coming from a Rhino can also work, because then the Rhino can hold an objective that they've just cleared, and then they can fall back, well, not really fall back, but get back into the Rhino if you wanted. Yes. The fight on death is good. Oh yes, being able to fight on death with Repentia, that is something that's been powerful across all of the different editions. Whenever they could do that, yeah, Repentia are worth taking. Being able to delete a squad of Wraiths, I mean, the damage too is good. If the Wraiths have that 5+ feel no pain from the Technomancer, then they're a lot more annoying. And then they get wounds back, and then the Technomancer additionally gives them wounds back. It is indeed an annoyance. The Destroyers are a bit too irritating. I think the Locust Destroyers are a bit too points optimized, where they can turn up and just blow away a lot of Space Marines. I suppose it is what they had to do. That is like their special design. The combat ones are not awful. I can fight them well enough. The Necron Warriors, they could have another points drop. They went down 20 points and got significantly worse, which was kind of a shame for them, because they're a really fun alternative to what was the Lich Guard meta. Rather than filling everything with Lich Guard and dudes in the Lich Guard and then the Lich Guard are unkillable, now that you can't take Cryptex at all in the Lich Guard, no one's really running Lich Guard. People are running Immortals, and then you give the Immortals a Plasmancer so that you're getting the critical hits on a 5+. So that means if you're the Immortals that have the Gauss cannons, you're automatically wounding stuff on a 5+ to hit. If you have the Tesla things, then you're getting sustained hits too if you roll a 5+ to hit. It's amazingly horrifying. So yeah, I can see why the Necrons are at the top of the meta. Did I always have the green eyes? I think I've always had the green eyes. Yeah, I don't think I've ever changed my green eyes. I know people expect like VTubers to have like, oh, you've got a filter that changes your eye color, but no, it's just always been these green eyes, these beautiful green eyes. Are you seeing my eyes? Look into my eyes. If I can get them to perfectly focus on the camera, which is the different camera that I'm using compared to the other phone and laptop computer, them working in sync. Difficult to get it exactly right to be looking at the camera. Hi, how we doing? Too small, too big, that's about right. Yeah. Aside from 40k and Kill Team, I mean, I don't really play that much of Kill Team. It's just been a little bit occasional distraction thing. Do I play Fantasy or Age of Sigmar? I do play Age of Sigmar. I haven't played 3rd edition so much because the rules didn't so much appeal to me when they first came out and haven't really changed a lot then. And it's a lot of, oh, you need to track which objectives you've had, secondary objectives. And once you've used it, you need the tokens. Then you put the tokens to a side because you've done that one. So it's a bit different. Yeah. So I do play Age of Sigmar. I just haven't so much this edition. When next edition comes out, 4th edition, everyone has free stuff, then I mean, it may be nice. It depends on how good the rules are as to how much Age of Sigmar I play. If it's easy to get into, then I'll do it. It'll be great. The Warhammer Fantasy, I'm trying a bit. It's just having a bit of getting used to it again and the different tactics. I was never that good at Warhammer Fantasy. I pretty much always lost, which meant that playing Skaven was really fun because every time you lose, it's all part of the plan, it's part of the lore and meta of the army. That works. Yes, you did hear correctly, odd number, that they're going to be doing combat patrols for Age of Sigmar and call them spearheads. So they already have a bunch of like battalion boxes at the moment. They're going to become combat patrol forces that you fight against other combat patrols, and then at that sort of level. I can't say it's going to be balanced, but they'll have their own special rules that will make it, at least for that game, balanced. Yes. Could you cut your jackals? You mean like drop them from a list? I mean, they can work quite well in a list. If you want to annoy the enemy turn 1 and maybe charge turn 1 and shoot stuff turn 1, that works because they've got scout, they've got a very fast move. Or you can just hold them back, and whenever you want to be on an objective, zoom to the objective. No, I'm not doing hands today because it was yet another thing that could potentially go wrong, and I just got all of the things from the previous stream that went wrong fixed, so it's all working now, so that's good. I see that Darnock got the correct idea of give Christian all the money. That's, I don't know, man, I'm not trying to like milk anyone for all of their money. We've already had a very generous 50 monies tip dropped in, which was just excellent, which left me kind of, oh, how do I react to that? That's a lot of monies. Again, thank you for that. It does indeed keep me going. But any kind of tip of any value is definitely appreciated. Ko-fi link in the description. So yes. Yeah, 4th edition Age of Sigmar is completely new. So if you ever want to try Age of Sigmar, that may be a good time to do it. Yeah. Combat Patrol games, I think they're pretty fun. It's a nice size game. It's a nice size board. It's nice and works. And it's like, yeah, I can play a nice, relaxing 40k game in an hour. What I've done with quite a few people is say, okay, the kill teams, well, the combat patrols, they're kind of boring once you've played with those 2 or 3 units a couple of times. So you can change it up and be like, okay, let's have 400 points. I think 400 points works. I just think the Deathwatch 1 aggressors are 120 points. Then 10 intercessors is 160. That's 320. Lieutenant is 65. It's, yeah, it comes out at around 400 points. So if you play 400 point games with the Combat Patrol missions and the Combat Patrol rules, it works. And then just use the regular 40k detachments and the stratagems from them. And then you're not trying to learn something for... Yeah, you're not trying to learn stratagems you don't get in the main rules. Yeah. I don't think there was a question for the 50 monies. I mean, I'll double check. Double checking. No, I don't think there was. It was just, I really like you, here's some money. Yeah, no message. So if Bibbity wants to ask a question, then absolutely I will answer that question. But otherwise, you know, thanks for the money. Good of you to turn up, drop the money and leave. Well, I mean, not the leaving part. You don't have to leave. Please don't leave. You didn't have to leave, but doing like a magical dude walks in, throws some money down, says, I'm done, I've done my part, and walks out. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah. 300 points is pretty great to start 40k. I think that's a good start. You've mentioned that before when Bintan, that the Combat Patrol Sororitas Rhino can carry the Triumph for Saint Katherine. That is because for the Combat Patrol only version of the rules that say, okay, this Rhino can transport infantry models, it cannot transport jump pack models. That is all it says in the Combat Patrol. Basically to say you cannot put the Seraphim that are in the Combat Patrol in the Rhino, but the other units are fine. And you also can't put the Penitent Engine. So that means because they did not specify the Triumph of St. Katherine in Combat Patrol, you could have the Triumph of St. Katherine in a Rhino. The difficulty is the Triumph of St. Katherine doesn't exist in the Combat Patrol set, and in theory you're only meant to use the Combat Patrol models in the Combat Patrol game using the Combat Patrol index cards. So yes, that's why it both works and it definitely doesn't work. Yes. You like 2 battle lines and a warlord for beginning games? That works pretty well, yeah. Or 1 elite, 1 battle line and 1 warlord, something like that. And the warlord maybe can or cannot join the other units. It's an optional. Worth it. Yes, good. Have you now gotten that out of your system? Do you feel that you now need to never bring up the Combat Patrol plus Rhino plus St. Katherine again? Yes. How accurate is the eye tracking? Well, I've got it set so that it tracks and does the same thing with both eyes at the same time. So I do everything, you know, amazingly Wink. How's the wink? Yeah, see, this is me winking. Whatever one eye does, the other one follows. If I do it with the other eye, then nothing. So I've got it tracked to follow one particular eye and just copy it onto the other eye. Yes. Oh. So yeah, that was much easier to do it. Then there's no going cross-eyed. There's no one of the eyes suddenly wanders off to the side and doesn't come back, which was an issue I had at the start when I first was trying it out. Yeah, yeah. It may come back when we least expect it. Do you want me to never bring it up again or keep bringing it up for more monies? You know, either. Whichever one you feel most comfortable with. Whichever one. I do love monies, but I also don't want to be like, come on, say the thing, say the funny line, and give me monies and make me laugh. We have fun. We do have fun. Yeah, you can have 10 Gravis Marines and a Warlord for 300 points, and that's kind of rude. Yeah, could be. Did I know that hunter-killer missiles hit on 2s? They do for the Sororitas ones. They don't for the Brood Brothers and Imperial Guard ones. Kind of a bit of a different thing. Yeah. The chance of rolling a 1 is at least 50%, and that's only 50% if you use a Miracle Dice of a 2. Gigi. I heard the Agents Imperium got their own combat patrol rules and strats. Yes, they did. I have them here. It's in the White Dwarf. So it's no, it is for combat patrol. Definitely combat patrol. I've got to find the page. It is in the White Dwarf. It is called the Vantarian's Voidsman. And it's kind of a mess of a combat patrol because it's 2 squads of 10 Navy Breachers, a squad of 10 Voidsmen, but you have 2 lots of the guys with las guns, 2 lots of the guy with the rotor cannon, only 1 sergeant and only 1 dog. And then you also have the Rogue Trader entourage, basically the stuff that came in the older, I think it was 8th edition, Kill Team. Yeah, it was called Kill Team Rogue Trader. Yes. That was a good set. I like that. It came with the Galapox Infected. I got it. I liked it. It was wonderful. Nice set of models to paint. So yeah, the agents of the Imperium do now have their own combat patrol. It's a lot of Voids mini stuff. Oh, we shoot, we fall back. On death, we can shoot. Yeah, we can do a reactive move. Yeah, you can use them in kill teams. So you can have the Imperial Navy Breachers in kill team. And you can also have the Voidsman plus Rogue Trader in kill team as well. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. It's said that the 40k Skaven is actually the Imperium. That or, you know, the Genestealer Cult. Yeah. Oh yeah, the Galapox are good as well. And you can also have them as their own combat patrol. I don't know. Oh yes, there are rules for them in 40k, but they're in the Legends section. Much like all of the Blackstone Fortress. Yes, all the Blackstone Fortress things, they are either, oh yeah, just count them as another model, like the guy that's a Crusader, you count them as a Crusader. The Thaddeus, Big Daddy Thaddeus, is, yeah, you use this guy as a missionary preacher. I think he's a preacher. Is that the right terms? I forget. I have my own, like, fan terms for them, for my own models. Yes, it is missionary or preacher, and use him as a missionary, and use the lady with the flame cannon and the big chainsword. That is your preacher. Yeah. Thaddeus and Pius Vaughn, the wrong base size? I don't think you need to. I think it's fine. They're just, whatever base they come on is right, because they're on, I think, 32mm, whereas the older models that the current rules are based off are 25mm. Yes. Just want to have strats and enhancements for Agents of the Imperium? I mean, that'd be ideal. That should be what we get in a hypothetical, not yet confirmed, Kill Team... No, not Kill Team. Agents of the Imperium Codex. Which may just have... Here's, you know, 4 detachments. 1 for your Voidsman, 1 for your Inquisition style, Yeah, I mean, that's the rumor. I mean, it's not fully confirmed that it's Agents of the Imperium Codex, but we'll see. It may just be... No, it's probably that. It is probably that. Yeah, I think we can accept it's probably that. So you got your Void kind of people, where you've got your Voidsmen and your Breachers in one group. Then you've got, I don't know, no idea what other ones they've got. Inquisition style. I did see someone say on someone else's stream that, oh, they always take the Inquisitor, the radical Xenos Inquisitor. What's her name? Her name will come to me. Imperial agents. Yes, Kyria Draxis. That's her. Yes, that she's an auto-include, but she's not necessarily... I mean, it's really powerful to have +1 to hit against aliens, especially if the meta is Necrons and Eldar. That can be good. That can be good. 3 different orders, perhaps? I mean, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, so there's no current army rule for them, but they would need to have something else. You could do an Assassins-themed one, potentially. You could do... Yeah, we have a Void-related one with the Voidsmen, the Navy Breachers. Where do you put the Subductors and the Exaction Squad? Where do they go? Are they just around? But yeah, it is just a mix of Void stuff and Inquisition and Assassins. So maybe I can see a sort of theme building around the Inquisition style. I mean, what was released or leaked was one center page which had some Inquisition images, some art. That was it. There was no rules leaked, was there? There was nothing else from that. Unless I very much missed a whole thing. I don't think there was anything relating to that. So we've just got... yeah. Okay, I'd be happy with... Here's the Inquisition leading armies. You can have Deathwatch in your army that's Inquisition detachment. You can have Grey Knights in your army that's Ordo Malleus detachment. You can have Battle Sisters, potentially, in your Ordo Hereticus thing. Maybe just make them more themed like that. Then we'll get, hopefully not just Codex Witch Hunters. We've already seen that they can do impressive things with the number of data sheets they get, with the number of detachments they get. Ah, thank you, Mark. That's always the pipeline. Start Battle Sisters, come to Von Carmian, start Genestealer Cult. I don't know if it's worked the other way around yet, but thank you very much for the money. Yeah. So yes, they've done some impressive things with detachments. I mean, Custodes are going to get several detachments. The way they got 3 detachments out of the Dark Angels is not bad. Have we had any other... We haven't had any other like Codex supplement groups, so there's no others to mention there. Only 4 detachments for Tau is a little disappointing, I guess, for the Tau. Oh yeah, the C'tan infantry are definitely the derpiest looking models. So I don't know what else besides them. That's kind of my thinking. Yes. Would be nice, yes, if there was like older stuff brought back, but good. Almost makes you want to play Sisters, said your friend after you landed 3 Miracle Dice boosted long charges. Yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah, the Crisis suits are still good. The detachments are still good. Yeah, I suppose it is better to have 4 good detachments than 6 kind of average ones. For a lot of things, people looking at the detachments have been going, okay, here's the ones that are good. Like people building Tyranids that are monster themed and not looking at the Crusher Stampede. They're going for the Invasion Fleet because one of the command point stratagem things is you get a 6+ feel no pain, or if you're in Synapse range, a 5+ feel no pain. And that's on any unit. So you put that on your biggest monsters, assuming they don't already have a feel no pain. Yeah. I wonder what they'll do for Custodes. I guess they could have it not so much the stances. One that's Sisters of Silence focused. It's a thought. It's possible. Yes. But we have not that many months left to wait. before the Sisters Codex and the Genestealer Cult Codex. I mean, it's expected in the May to July period, because they just said summer. And they could come out at any time. Could be like, oh yeah, here's Sisters, then 2 weeks later Genestealer Cult. I'm hoping for a bigger gap than that, just to get all of the, okay, let's go into detail on the Sisters. Let's get the Sisters Codex and go for them. Yeah, the Sisters of Silence models and in the game are very expensive. I know. It's definitely very much a whole thing. Summer is June. May is spring. They may announce it in May. Be like, coming a week later, or something like that. I just know May is like the flood season in the UK. That's when all the rivers flood and everyone's like, oh, do we have enough tidal defenses? Oh, we still don't. It's almost like the planet is getting warmer. Who's to say? We could get it as soon as next month, considering how long it's going to be before the towers go live. Ah, yes, there's the release, the announcement date, the released in a box date, and then the actual time it's there separately. Somewhere there's a Custodes player using Battle Sisters to proxy Sisters of Silence. Maybe. Ever run a Neophyte Horde list? I've deliberately chosen not to, because at the start of 10th edition, loads of Neophytes and loads of Acolytes was just the meta. It's hard to get through, and they always come back, and it's a bit of a pain. Yeah. So I've never run a list all like that, because it's unpleasant to transport, it's unpleasant for your opponent to get through, and when they're always coming back, it just means you win, and there's not a lot your opponent can do about it. Unless they're really good at slaughtering infantry in high volume, and also have the speed to pick up your blip tokens afterwards. I prefer not to. So I've never run an all Neophyte Horde list. It is very possible, and it's going to depend on what the enemy has as well. If it's all Punisher tanks, Punisher Lehman Russ tanks, hard to shoot, then also really good at killing your guys, you're not going to have a good time. It's too much, too swingy, I think. Too swingy. There was a question I briefly saw, then my mind got distracted. Is it like really good, fun things to put on Neophytes? I mean, you can have any of the weapons on Neophytes. Any of them. I mean, Flamers are kind of cool coming from reserve, or if you're defending the home, then the Overwatch from them is good. Webbers, same reason. And Devastating Wounds mean that whatever the enemy brings out, you're going to wound it. Then the Heavy Stubbers. I like the Heavy Stubbers. 3 shots, or more likely 6 shots. And if you get the boosts on, where it's the command point, so you get an extra point of armor penetration and +1 to hit, you're now hitting on a 3+ with a 6 shots of a Heavy Stubber that's AP -1. Add in a Ridge Runner as well, -2. That's a lot of cool shots. The Mining Lasers, I'm less fond of because of the hitting on a 5+. And then it's like, okay, we get a las cannon shot, you can get lucky. Otherwise, the seismic cannon is what everyone's go-to is, with the D3 damage. And that's the idea. Cup of tea time. Right, I have been on for nearly 3 hours. So that is probably enough time, I think. And overall, the system has worked pretty well. We haven't had any crashes. We haven't had anything break. It's a good time to wrap it up. So the plan is, I'm expecting to do a short-ish video tomorrow, and that will wrap up Genestealer Cult week. Then there will be this very long, big video that will come out at some point, I'm hoping next week. And also there will be a stream where I do an anniversary stream. And then we'll be back to regular scheduled content stuff in April. Excellent. Okay. Thank you all for very much coming and spending your afternoon, evening, morning with me. Maybe you can paint at the same time. Good of you to join. I hope you have a great day of 40k. Please get out of my house.